It's just me because I'm waiting for everybody else to come back on. Yeah, well, so that's the thing. When the stream suddenly ended, I went to schedule a new one. It kicks everyone out, and I had to resend the link. So I'm waiting for them to pop back up. So until then, you've just got personal Zio Agito time. Anyway, hello and welcome to a very weird start to a TokuTonic shit. So yes, hello and welcome. It's you know, sometimes it's got to be the case. Sometimes I solo stream, sometimes we double stream. I'm still waiting for these guys to click these links, but they ain't clicking them links. Even though I sent them, maybe if they just restart the screen. I mean, if they click, if they look and see that I'm live, they can go ahead and press those buttons and get back in. Anyway, how's everybody doing in the chat? You know, I need background music when it's just me because I'm just like, it's just me right now. It's just me. Anyway, hopefully everyone is having a really good Friday. It's been good for me. Nothing crazy happening, but I did bring back the Otoya dance, which I did have someone ask, and I don't know if people would be willing to do this, is a judge of your own Otoya dance. I'm just saying it might be potential content there on people just submitting in their own Otoya dance. I can send y'all the instructional that I made back when I was 19 years old. AKA when you saw that YouTube short that I posted up. Yeah, that was 19-year-old me doing the Otoya dance back when Kiva first came out. It was like the first video I'd ever posted up on YouTube. And yeah, that's long been hidden away. But I also made an instructional video explaining how to do the Otoya dance back then. So that was another thing as well. But for that setup, that entire green screen setup, I can't even show you the original cut of it because when I first was trying to do the redo of the Otoya dance, first of all, I did it with no music. So I was going based off of memory. And then second of all, first I tried laying down my green screen sheet on the ground in my upstairs. My upstairs is not carpeted like my downstairs. Now, if I were to do the Otoya dance here, no, on the other side of this room, I've got tons of Gundam model kits. They'd fall. They'd all fall to the ground. I'm avoiding that. So I went upstairs and did it on the hardwood floors. But because the sheet that I have for the ground is a very soft sheet, I damn near slipped and fell on my ass. So I had to take that down. So let me message Cloudy real fast. And see what's going on with them. I bet it was the Rita stands that ended up coming after the stream. They were not enthused by my B rating that we ended up giving it during this one. But look, we'll get into it when we actually talk some King-Ohger when it comes to that. Now, note, the Gundam Avalanche was a good Gundam. It's from Gundam 00, just so everyone knows that there is an actual Avalanche Gundam. But the Gundams falling into an avalanche is not good. So, well, look, it's good that some of y'all understand why it gotta be. You've been waiting for Gundam to make an anime? Me too. It's just been live action stuff. If only we could go back to having some good anime Gundam, but we haven't gotten that. Gundam 00 was indeed a good show until, well, season 2 was kind of a thing. And then the film. I actually enjoyed the film. Controversial take, but I actually enjoyed the film of Gundam. It's nice actually giving us the concept of aliens in Gundam. G Gundam was great. Like, one of the first cosplays that I ended up doing was Domon Kashu. My first picture that I have up for the channel was actually me and my Domon Kashu cosplay, which was not that great by any means, but it was like the mobile fighter suit, so it was very easy to produce at the time, kind of sort of. So when it comes to Gotchard reviews, because of the pacing that the show has been taking, I'm thinking more along the lines of just saving it for every 5 or so episodes to be doing it. And there's someone. Let's welcome in Misty.
What? Oh, hello.
Oh,
Christ.
it's not Misty.
See, what had happened was, I can't explain it. I'm sorry, you weren't there.
Okay, welcome, guys. I've been here for 7 minutes. Just
we were the
you
same
were wondering
and never.
Yeah,
You usually join back in.
exactly.
No, so the thing is, because that stream was its own stream,
Oh, you had to do the.
I had to create another one, and because of that, it instantly went to like a new page.
Yeah,
It
I'm not
moved
even
me over
logged
to a
in.
new page.
I'm not even logged in, so it changed all my stuff on the back end.
we were waiting, just we thought you would like DM us or like let us know.
Well,
And then I
did.
I saw it later.
I told you. I was
Just
like, oh, he's in another room.
Yeah.
I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we saw the chat still going on that one where people are like, this is a great stream. This is my favorite part. And I'm like,
Yeah.
And then, so Cloudy, first of all, we got a taker out here.
Oh, what? Oh,
Yeah, you dating? You available?
no, I am not available. Sorry. Good luck, guys.
Ah, damn. Disappointed some folks out here. Damn.
Damn. Sorry, everyone. I just the most cloud because for me, every time I see Cloudy, it's highlighted. There's so much.
There's a lot of cloudy action going on. Everyone, put y'all's lotion away. It's cloudy. You know, for that one Donbrothers bit, I had that lotion ready. I was like, damn. Let's go. I had to do 2 takes on it, and both times it just got in my mouth. It was terrible because this thing had menthol in it, so I was really starting to feel the burn after a good bit. So that was a fun shenanigan when it comes to that.
Did you really get some of it back in your toys?
Yes.
you got some on the TV screen too.
Yeah, it was on the TV screen. It was bad. It was bad.
Okay.
So, yes, Cloudy, how are you this fine Friday evening?
Pretty good. Still sick, but okay. Otherwise, I've been playing.
When are you not sick?
Like every 3rd harvest moon on the afternoon for around an hour. I'm not sick.
I think there's another one coming out on the Switch soon.
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking about that too.
Good game. Good game. Good franchise.
Yeah, it is.
Reliable.
Absolutely.
And Mark, how are you this fine Friday evening?
I almost backed out last minute because I called out of work. I don't know what's going on, but I was living on the toilet today until my leg fell asleep. I was having some bowel issues. They're pretty bad.
Ouch.
So first of all, what'd you eat?
What didn't I eat? Like,
well, I need the list. I need the schematics.
I was about to be like that lady, like greens, potatoes, yams, ham. No, it was like a combination. I think it was just made homemade donuts, ate some of those, hard-boiled eggs, protein, spicy noodles.
Could have been the hard-boiled eggs and the spice.
Chicken, rice, beans. But it was just a combination. I think also it was just my eating habits have been like all out of whack, like when I'm eating. So just like I've been binging in one pocket of time and then intermittent fasting.
I mean, that sounds like more than I ate this entire week.
Damn.
Yeah. I like to eat. What can I say?
So you didn't even. I think you did like 2-3 days ago. You didn't even eat that day.
Yeah, so the day that I was putting out my Donbrothers video, so because of that, well, that Monday I had to, do my actual job, things like that.
Work,
this, that, and
money.
the other. Yep, need to do that.
Money.
I recorded everything on Sunday for that video, and then spent the rest of Monday evening working on that video, just trying to get it set up, because I was working on a lot of the visuals on the back end on Sunday, because of course had to make Space Fize's Resurrection an event that people could appreciate. So I thought, it kind of worked. When I'm looking at the analytics for that video, you can start seeing where the spike is, where people kept going back to watching it. Like, they will start the video and go straight to that Meanwhile Sononi bit, which is great stuff. It's hilarious. Even I, in multiple rewatches, when I flick a certain person off the side of the screen, hilarious. Cannot get enough of that.
That was great. That was a good edit.
And it was something that just came to me, and I was like, wait, I remember when someone sent me a Meanwhile Sononi, it was not a Meanwhile Sononi. You know what?
Yeah.
Nah, they getting out of here. I'm going to include them and get them out of here. I don't know about Ash. He normally sends me a DM if he's going to be running late. Haven't gotten anything. He's not even showing up online, so I have no idea. Hopefully everything's going good for him.
Hopefully Australia's power isn't out again, or Wi-Fi.
Ooh, yeah, hopefully it's not that. I know the UK was having some issues. So,
oh, by the way, what was it, Ken? A lot of people, or a few people I saw, asked if any of us failed No Nut November, and I'm gonna say this: all three of us are in like relationships. So,
speak of the devil.
I was just messaging him too because I saw him pop up online.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah. Finally,
I slipped in. I slipped in.
We're wondering what
you're
happened.
busy with all the Power Ranger comic book videos you were doing all week. I saw those.
That's the reason why the first stream failed, because Ash wasn't in here to power it up.
I wasn't here.
It was delaying it for Ash.
Powered by kangaroo beef.
Yeah, I slept in. I was like, fuck. Yeah.
Since Cloudy out here is being kind of an e-girl, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the
the
judges out
spot.
here. Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. That looks appropriate for your character right there.
Okay.
Perfect. Great. Can you give us a singing number real quick?
Absolutely not. Under no circumstances.
Is that VTuber model rigged up to be able to dance in any way, shape, or form?
I think you can hand wave.
That question.
I forget the button to hand wave.
Oh, so there is buttons you could rig.
Oh,
into
yeah.
it.
There's absolutely a lot of buttons that I have. I just don't use any of them. I forgot what they all do.
Can you figure out if any one of them have the shake weight motion?
They don't. Actually, I can't even say that. There is one, actually. it's not the shake weight motion. It's something actually a little worse, but I'm not.
Oh.
We're not getting there. We're not going there.
Members only stream after. No.
Oh, yeah. Let's do members only.
If I ever open up members, it's going to be members only streams after these.
Yeah,
That's TokuTonic After Dark.
You want then.
Yep.
It's
all
just
of
the extra
that.
half hour of what we say when we end the stream.
Yeah, when we end the stream, it just keeps going. We'll just send links to the chat, and randos can just pop up. But since it's members only members could show up. So we'll see. It's something that honestly I've been contemplating on the back end type thing. But now getting to Ash, since intros were a little late because I was kind of rocking the boat for 7 minutes until everybody else discovered that there was a whole new room. So how are you this Saturday morning for you?
I am good. I am very good. I'm wide awake and ready to do this.
Fantastic. So the first thing for this week's superhero time is Gotchard finally good?
Yeah. I mean, it's been good. It's just now it's getting there. You know what I mean?
I mean, I literally rewatched the episode right before the stream so I could get it fresh in my mind and all that. And although it's a solid episode, I still find the pacing, the sequence of events, and some of the character shifts to be a little bit either too soon or ending too soon, especially when you introduce a character last episode just to kill them off this episode. Like already. It's like the person that's been dealing out these blank chemi cards to the sisters this entire time. We finally find out who, because obviously it's a new character that was just introduced. And guess what? She's already dead.
Been killed.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's more of like, they used her. It's like a tool to them. So they're done with the tool. So it's gone.
Plus, Gotchard has always been good. It hasn't been bad. It's just, like we say, like, it's just not.
It's all right.
I haven't figured out a way to review it because
it's kind of like a flat line. Like if you're looking at like a pulse, there's no ups, there's no downs. It's just
consistent.
But,
This was the first time
I'm okay
we
with
were
that.
like,
It's a slow
holy
burn.
shit, it's alive.
We got a little bit of a nudge. And honestly, the big nudge for me this episode was seeing Dredd beat the shit out of Otaro.
Yeah.
No, that was a good fight. That was a very good fight.
No, wait, when I'm just talking about like he's just beating his face in.
Oh, you mean
Speaking of,
you
I made the
enjoyed that
executive
way
decision.
too much when you saw that?
I canceled my pre-order for the driver for Dredd.
Really?
I was like,
Why?
I gotta be a responsible adult.
Okay.
And
After
spend it
doing
on
the,
good
Whoa.
stuff.
yeah, I'm gonna be getting some a Memorial Vega sword.
Mark, it's crazy to hear those words be used in the same sentence with Mark, responsible adult.
I know, right? Insane.
Please
I think
pray
it's
for me in these
saying that
difficult. Pray for me in these difficult times, please.
Look,
I
I think
will.
it's actually just admitting the fact that Gotchard maybe not be hitting the notes for you if you're willing to actually back down from a pre-order.
No, okay. So I made a video going over Gotchard, like my issues with the chemi cards and how they're releasing everything, and if I'm gonna stop, because like I have all phase 0, all phase 1. I have all the magazine ones. I have the freaking candy toy ones. I have the choco wafers. I have all of this stuff. And then I was like, okay, there's phase 2. There's phase X. There's now going to be final form cards, more magazine ones, more this and that. And I'm like, this is excessive for cards. It's one thing if you like Pokemon, you can go and buy a booster box. You have a guarantee, get everything. You don't have to go out and be like, oh, well, the packs that come with the binder are different packs, like different cards that you can't get in these. No, it's always the same cards because it's a wave. But the fact that I got to go out and go all these different avenues, and then I'm like, if I enjoyed the show more, because it's a good show, I like it, kinda. If I enjoyed the show more, I'd be.
You mind showing that mini plot? Because that's clearly the mini plot that you. I know
Yes.
you don't. You usually don't get the Biggins DX, right?
All right, I'm gonna try to do this without everyone falling over because this thing is a bulky bitch.
It's a
And
big boy.
I have to have the chainmail snail thing on a freaking. This thing's huge. It's all mini plot. It's thick. Look how thick that is.
Imagine
Just
the
like-
actual one.
Oh, I will make the actual one at one point.
I'm
In my
like-
review, I even cut in the thick boy meme into it. 'Cause I was like, yeah, this
Damn
is a-
boy.
yeah, that was. It's
Shelf
yeah,
space.
it's cheaper for the price to build all this. It's still cheaper than getting all the DX ones.
True.
Like you can get a set of all these. You can probably get this whole entire set right now for like 60.
Pretty nice.
They're kitty toys, and they're not the scale, but you can have more on display than a DX one.
Mhm.
Now,
But all the cards, just too many cards, too many ways to get them, and I'm like, do I just stop? Do I just give up? But then I saw the Blade parallel, and I was like,
the thing is, with that special pack that the box is going to come out down the line that ends up having more SRs and parallels
Yeah.
and things like that in there. Now I'm just like, I don't feel compelled to get the phase 2 boxes. I'm just waiting until they come out with that other box. If
But isn't-
anything.
But isn't that only because it's only going to have so much more because like they're doing the ones that didn't get them in the first wave or something?
no, they're adding some the wave 1 cards and stuff into the. It's like almost like it's like what you see on like the Dragon Ball Z ones that they do at like Target, where it's like here's all these Vegeta different Super Saiyan lines. They're all one set, but these are ones you could pull from previous like editions. It's like a holiday gift set, basically, but not for the holiday. It's just for Bandai's money.
And I know someone on chat asked this like before, like if just saw the glimpse of it real quick, where someone asked, would we prefer Gotchard or Gotchard? And I'm like, Gotchard.
What's Go Sage?
Gotchard is great. It's
That was what was adapted into
Megaforce.
Megaforce.
That was
I've never seen either
Megaforce.
of those.
They used
I've seen
cut.
some of Megaforce, but
It's
No,
pretty cool.
Gotchard
Cut
was
as well.
honestly underrated season of Sentai. Everybody
It's
should
good,
definitely give it a good shot. Alita, the red on there is a goddamn G. I always said, like, when I first watched the show, it's like he looked like a bitch, but he definitely has like big dick energy.
Yeah, and
Great.
Ghostly Knight has like an amazing theme in the show. If you ever,
Plus, the villain is like peak villain. Like Brethren is like one of the best villain Sentai's ever had. Especially like his reluctance to die and just find a way to keep coming back, no matter how many enemy factions they had, because they went through several enemy factions during that season. It was great. Great.
Also, the problem with Ghosthager is that it has like what is it? What was that season? What was Kiva syndrome, where the season before it and the season after it are things that people talk about a lot.
Yep.
So it falls into like, you know, because before it is Shinkenger and after it is Gokaiger. And then just like in Kiva, before Kiva is Deno and after Kiva is Decade. Like you don't really talk about the show in the middle because that's like it's squashed between two powerhouses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. So when I look at the suits, they look better.
So Ghosthager is the one that was Megaforce, and Gokaiger is Super Megaforce, right? The
Correct.
Cool pirates.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the one with the pirates. The pirates one's cool.
Oh.
Real quick. Blah blah something for $5 says, is it sad that I was more invested in Dread beating the shit out of Hotaru than the emotional distress our characters are currently in?
No, because that was great.
Because I was, if anybody saw Sunday's stream when I was watching that episode for the time, I was like, beat his ass. He's literally doing what everybody going like, make Gotchard good. He was trying to beat the goodness into Hotaru. Hopefully he succeeded. This is Sabimaru properly throwing hands and showing just how things could be. Maybe.
I'm surprised he didn't go back and rewatch it like over and over and over and over again.
That would mean giving Gotchard more of my time.
Oh, damn.
That's not really gorgeous of you.
It's not. I mean, that Legend special was another thing, but I guess we'll talk about that right after this. Another thing about this episode, kind of not really. That was such a nothing special. Spanner, the character that some people had so much hype for, so much potential, that became somewhat of a background character in a show with so many characters already, got bodied in like 2 seconds. Just showing that not only is he obviously weaker than Dread and Gotchard, but you know, Lactus was just beat the fuck out of him. So,
and she didn't even transform. I think she just whooped that ass,
manhandled. She's like, stay in your lane.
Spanner's gonna die on Christmas. I'm just saying.
Oh, there's a button to take the jacket off. I will not take the jacket off.
Oh, well, we can censor it if it's zesty.
No, if you want to censor anything, there's a button to take all the clothes off, which I will not do.
Oh,
why did you program that button in?
I didn't. It's just in here.
Oh, it is.
Are you sure you didn't just pay for the premium package?
No, it's a base package. It's all.
The fact that base package has that much, I'm gonna have to invest in some VTuber models. There's a lucrative business.
Listen, I've helped a few people in the Discord server with setting up their models and rigging. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Show up in there like Dr. Girlfriend from Venture Brothers.
Oh no.
Gonna be ready.
We're all gonna.
How you doing, Doc?
How you doing there? Smoker's lung.
I heard you're a thick ass boy.
Damn, boy.
What's Gotchard again? Okay, so
right.
Ash,
sorry,
did you watch this episode?
No, I forgot that I downloaded it and I was gonna watch it. I can explain. I watched. I'm almost caught up on Blazar. I'm like on episode 12 right now. So
nice, such a better show.
I'm like,
it is.
Yeah, like I put on the dub. I had I had so I can multitask and play a game, and I mostly looked at Well, I had to switch over the Blazar half the time because you have to sort of jump through all the ads that they have on the YouTube one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still a good show. I'm now fully invested. Like after episode 9. Of the music episode, that's the one that fully won me over. I'm in. I'm fully in.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about it.
big reference to, if you ever want to get to watch it, Ultra Q. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I read the comments about that, saying it's
Ultra
like a
Q is
reference to
the
Ultra Q.
greatest out of everything.
It's like Twilight Zone, but with Toku monsters.
Ultraman.
It's really good.
And Neo Ultra Q is just as good.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
yeah.
There's also a movie,
It's
but that does not much.
The wholesome episodes with Gento's son are really the ones that like I just
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in
I
for
didn't know
them.
he was. I didn't know he was a dad. I thought that was like his little brother until like they mentioned the episode. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was very good. I love seeing him in full dad mode.
Mm.
Though then last week when we got that power up with the Phoenix, that was nice. It's just nice to know that they're just like buddies. It's like this was his companion, you know, he's showing up. And now we're talking about Blazar as opposed to Gotchard. So let's tune it back in. Musa Muteki for $5 saying, which was more entertaining? Hotaro's beating or Spanner's swift beating? Hotaro's beating. What are you talking about? Like I saw that face just get caved in, and I was just like,
I love how you had the moment where he was just like, no, I don't want to do this, but then he did it.
Yep. This is a glorious scene. I think for a lot of people that was one of their highlights of the episode in general. But the other big highlight for it was the fact of who Dread was. Of course, we knew already that it was going to be Sabimaru. But then getting Sabimaru actually in the transformation and having the Dread suit essentially be like a symbiote, because it essentially possessed him like Venom and just used his body to get around in a way.
And his brains.
Even to the point of like just undoing part of the helmet when Gotchard's about to strike, just to like make him feel that guilt. The thing that got me though is that Isaac, Sabimaru's tablet, seems to be so in tune with Sabimaru's, like, I guess, just thoughts that it was able to relay what was inside his mind. When I'm like, that's one hell of a MacGuffin you got there, but okay, that's one way to show what he's thinking. Yeah, and with that, they essentially started already showing the seeds of Sabimaru being able to regain some control and prevent Dread from dealing like the fatal blows in general. Which I don't know how long we're going to get Sabimaru as Dread, but we know that this current Dread is a type 0, so there's more Dread forms to come. Whether or not it's going to be all Sabimaru or there's just going to be the rumor initially that we discussed last week was that it seems like Dread is going to possibly be a reoccurring villain in terms of who it's gonna possess next. So there's like also if Vale actually ended up doing more than what Vale did.
Hey, that one thing he did in that 25, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah, too bad he got isolated right after and became somewhat of a background character, especially after you go back and look at the Vale special and see just how ruthless he was. And this is like putting on the kid gloves right after. Like it, and now we're talking about Revice as opposed to Gotchard.
Should we have like that be a thing? Now we're talking about this as opposed to Gotchard.
It's already become a thing.
Yeah,
it's been a thing for a long time. We
always derail from Gotchard and move over to something else because that's just how Gotchard goes. Like, if I even then with what happened in this episode, the majority of the events I could still end up summarizing in like 3 sentences, which is why I'm still just gonna do batch reviews every 5 episodes until they start giving us some sort of substances. Sure, this episode laid somewhat of the seeds of a good story starting to make itself somewhat there. Especially with the lore that old girl that got got disintegrated within 10 minutes was starting to lay down. And it's just like, she was giving us the deepest lore until she ended up getting got. And there's Ash. And he's gone. He got too. We were talking too much Gotchard. Just couldn't get it. Kamen Rider Kevin, now possessed by Dread, got him.
Remember that time that I said I was going to be a responsible adult?
Yeah.
So I just got an email. Let me just share this email I got from Bandai real quick. It literally just got sent to me. Hey, Mark, guess what? Tamashii Nations is holding a fan appreciation warehouse sale tomorrow at their warehouse location in Anaheim, California. Here's the address. Here's the time to show up. And I'm like,
And
Can you
you
get me
better bring
something
your
nice?
wallet.
Can you get me something
like-
nice then?
I was
Yeah,
like, y'all,
please.
this is like, why they gotta do this to me? Like, it's Tamashii Nations. That means there's gonna be SH figures in its warehouse. Not just they might have some of those San Diego Comic Con. I might get the Brawley one that I missed. Like,
It's a targeted attack on you and your wallet alone, Mark.
it is, because the email was actually sent 5 minutes after I said what I said about being responsible.
Oh,
You know, you should make
I
your
heard.
Tokusatsu hangover stream just be a live stream from the warehouse.
yeah. It's just like, I'm here at the warehouse spending my money.
You know that's going to
Taboo.
get the clicks.
I know.
Yeah.
That's going to get the clicks. Even I will be like, ah, shit, Mark's
Yeah.
streaming from the warehouse. Let me put down whatever I'm
Let's see
doing.
the warehouse. What's
I'm
I'm putting this on the
Even
big
if-
screen.
I'll think about it. I'll think about
Even
it.
if you make a vlog, like going to the warehouse and
I know.
pick up your finds.
Peak content.
Every time I say I'm gonna do that stuff, I still have all like the footage that I never released from when I went to the pop-up store they did.
Oh,
And I was
go
hanging
back
out
to
with the guys
Gotchard.
from like Team Kamen Rider and this and that. And I was like, I never even edited it all together because it was too much work. I had like 3 hours of footage.
Cool.
But live, that's easy. No editing.
Exactly. That's why we do this.
So Gotchard,
What's that? Okay.
final verdict or whatever we're doing. I don't know.
The thing is just like, it's nice that with them getting beat down, they realize that there's actual stakes to what they're doing. It looks like Hotaru might finally have gotten the message that this is not just fun and games, but this is real motherfucking life.
That is
He could
true,
die.
but you saw
And
the
the people
trailer for
around him
next
could die.
episode, though, right?
Yes.
Someone has to
Yeah.
die. That's
No.
what it is. Like, people could die. No, someone has to.
I mean, it's looking like it should be Sabimaru, but I doubt it. I really doubt it.
They can't kill Sabimaru. If they kill Sabimaru,
He's the best character,
like yes, he's become my favorite character in this show.
which wasn't
And
hard
it
to
sucks
do.
when you get a character that can barely talk be the most enjoyable character of the show.
That's because of all his expressions. Like he actually knew how
Yeah.
to like express and emote properly. Now, if he
He-
could teach Rene how to do that,
He channels like that early Punk Jack vibe when Punk Jack wasn't actually like played by
Annoying.
Hallelujah Win and was
Yeah.
just Punk Jack the silent, gonna beat your ass type of guy.
That's still the worst name ever.
Punk Jack.
Hallelujah Win.
Mm.
Like, his name was so
Hallelujah.
stupid. I hate
Hallelujah
his,
Win. Come
I
on.
hate his face too.
Hallelujah
And
one.
his
Glory
drip.
to
His drip was bad.
It's-
We need to have a Toku's hater ball and just make fun of like rip on all the characters in their drip.
Oh, should we do like the worst?
Always
strip?
down for it.
Or just like hate on each character.
I'll get a big like fur coat.
Gotta
Be
get
like, I'm
the
gonna-
big hat with the feather.
Like, I'm gonna go put some water in Kento's mama's
Yeah.
dish because she's getting thirsty.
What if
I'll
they
get the
prank you,
titanium Ibuki mustache going on. If I can
Right.
find where I
Mark? What if
lost
they
it
prank you? What if
somewhere.
the first character is Hajime?
Listen, I've already been gaslit into buying both versions of the board, but Bomber Jacket when it gets released. So,
Oh no! Don't.
people know me too well. And then my
Right.
name gets dropped on other streams. Like, hey, yeah, no, did you see those board jackets? Mark should get those. And I'm like, oh, did someone say Blade? And they're like, yeah, Mark, you're gonna buy those? I'm like, yeah, they're like, you need it. If you don't get it, like you're the Blade fan, like you don't get it, like someone else is gonna take your title. And I'm like, not my
If
title.
you don't get it, someone else is gonna have more Blade stuff than you do.
Yeah.
Spend that money.
Mm,
Can't let that happen.
So any
But it was good.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the better episodes.
yeah, like
of
I
it.
said, it's at an upward swing. So it's like if the momentum stays, it's because usually we talk about like episode 16. So we still have a couple episodes until then. But if this momentum, this pacing kind of changed for it in tones, I feel like we could be on the thing where it's like, okay, we let it cook and the meal is there and it's delicious.
I'm hopeful it's like the body swap episode of King-Ohger where I was like, where I saw the preview for it and I was like, this is gonna be bad. This is probably just gonna be all jokes, nothing serious, no lore. I hope it's like that because that's what the trailer looks like for me. It looks pretty bad.
That's a good segue into King-Ohger.
What?
It
No,
is, but we're still
a
not
better
done with
show?
Gotchard yet.
No, we're
Oh,
not because we
oh,
have
yeah.
L special. I mean the whatever special.
I
I didn't watch it, but okay.
Diamonds are Guy's best friend, My balls best friend. What?
He has diamond in his pants. I believe it.
You know, I didn't even rewatch this special after I watched it the first time because I was just like,
nothing.
Okay.
See, we could just skip over this. Nothing happens here.
It doesn't set up shit. We just got ugly ass forms once again. The bigger thing that Legend might return to, like, I guess shit on like Hotaro, and it's just like, okay, join the club. Like, there's a line behind me and everybody else that's been shitting on Gotchard. Let's go. You gotta wait your turn while the rest of us take shit on Hotaro. We're just gonna beat that ass. That's the way it works. Get those licks in. But I guess a quick thing I just brought up, and note for the chat, my second monitor is set to portrait, so when I share my screen, it's gonna look a little weird. And I'll just quickly show this because the quality is ass anyway. How's this?
Oh, right.
Oh God.
It's Hakaiser.
Oh, Rene's a Kaiser?
Yeah, Rene's a Kaiser. You didn't know that?
Oh, so is that Black Kaito's dad or regular Kaito's dad?
I think this version is probably Black Kaito's dad.
Okay.
Or Black Kaito's mom, maybe. Rene is Black Kaito's mom.
Nothing saying she can't be the dad.
I mean, you're right. Could definitely end up being the thing.
But
yeah, the speculation has been that Rene is gonna end up becoming this new writer, which we've gotten very bad shot of, along with how the driver is going to end up looking. Essentially, it's like a gotcha driver that just has the hands directly on there. And why is Lookman just
with $1?
The name change is great.
Lookman with the off-brand milk.
The off-brand milk is $0. Imagine that was USD.
If that's the case, then I can tell my boss that I'm taking a 3-month vacation.
Maybe 2 weeks for me, maybe 3 weeks.
Look, I only get paid like $1,500 every 2 weeks.
So my age is gonna show, but anyone's seen photos of the old action figures for like He-Man and the set from the 80s where they had the red chest thing and you could like push it in and it was kind of gooey underneath? That's all that the upper torso of that freaking suit reminds me of. It's a freaking Midacorn.
Those legs remind me of Build legs.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is like Kit Bash Central, regardless on.
And this definitely looks Kit Bashed.
Shoulders most likely Kit Bashed. Helmet probably not, but I feel like it's gonna be.
To be honest, that helmet give me big Solomon vibes. But that's because it's bad quality. I can't see it.
That's why
I mean, probably the horn in the middle, but definitely this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually using pieces from Hakaiser on this.
This looks like something from Mystic Knights. Literally, that's what.
Mystic Knights look better than this. What's wrong with you?
Big debate: Rider or like similar to Spanner situation.
I'm hoping it's another Spanner situation where they're just another hero and they don't get the Rider moniker. But given that this is Rene, probably
it's got a belt.
Yeah, because we need a secondary, actual with Rider in the name. So
and with Rene technically being the co-lead, and then they've already acknowledged Rene is the co-lead. Then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the name of the show from Kamen Rider Gotchard to Kamen Rider Gotchard and whatever Rene's writer name ends up being.
Kamen Rider Candle
Mid.
Emotionless, stale, brittle.
They'd probably go with something more stoic.
Kamen Rider Stoic, yeah, I guess.
Kamen Rider Batman.
Kamen Rider, where is she? Where's Rachel?
So yeah, that was a quick little thing when it comes to what they got going on in Gotchard.
Good old Gotchard land.
Anyone actually care about the Legend special at all that wants to discuss it? Like, chat, how do you guys feel about how the Legend special ended? Especially since this is like 15 minutes. This one was actually shorter than 15 minutes. It was like 14 minutes and some change, and that's counting the credits. We did get the cameo of Decade actually being voiced by Masahiro Inoue, but I'm just like, man, that man's always on speed dial. He's ready to show back up. If you just tell him, hey, we got your suit here, and go. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Don't you got a company to run? You're a CEO.
I just feel like the side specials like are never going to be good because they peaked with Veil. Like, there's not been any side specials of that quality since.
Well, I mean, Geats didn't really have any that were going on concurrently with the show.
Yeah.
They're doing it after the fact.
Yeah, because they learned. Veil,
they did have the one Punk Track special, right?
Who cares about that? We don't talk about
Yeah, but
that.
I thought that was like a.
And they had the little
inclusion with
animated
something
shorts also that were on the DVDs and Blu-rays.
But Ryder has always had little animated shorts, though.
I'm just saying, Veil was the best garnish to go along with that show, and there's been no side video projects.
I'm still saying I would have preferred that the Veil special had just been like something that was included in Revice
show,
and just to pull like kind of a Naruto to Naruto Shippuden vibe, where like in between they gave us that little like Kakashi backstory of, you know, Naruto's dad Minato being the like training him, being the fourth Hokage and all that crap. And I'm like, look, if we had just gotten something like that with the Veil special and then they go back into things, would have been better. Revice would have been a better show for it.
What's Naruto?
It's this thing that dominated the TV space in the late 2000s.
Jumpsuited ninjas.
Where you could get the headbands, the oversized headbands at Hot Topic, FYE, places like that.
I see so many people wearing those. Okay, so I go to Starbucks a lot because I'm basic. And there's a guy there that always works there, and he just wears their new headband every time I go out. And I was like, sir, like, I want my latte. I just want my latte. Like, you don't have to be like oat milk. Like, I don't like. Just give me my drink.
Oh, there goes Zio. Looks like those hand signs got rid of Zio.
Oh my god!
They got rid of the stream.
I don't know what happened. Mark, I didn't like your story. Oh my god!
Oh wait,
it's kind of cool. We're all lined up like a Rider poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still live. We're still live.
We're still live.
We're still live. We're gonna go down.
We're gonna do it live.
It didn't take your slander of this man's drip. They were like, "Don't you insult the Naruto drip."
I know, right?
Yeah, let's not talk bad about Naruto.
Let's stop. We have Gotchard to finish up with.
No, we don't.
We don't.
We're just literally pointing out the fact that like the sides, like this being like an alternate thing because it has no weight to the actual show right now. So what's the point of it? They all told a backstory. You know,
it's literally just a reason to show us the legend writer cards within the context of what Gotchard has to offer.
Also, I canceled my freaking legend driver also because I saw an unboxing of it. That shit is not gold.
Oh,
it's like orangish gold. I was like, that's not gold. That's not gorgeous.
Wow.
Like, and I thought about like, what if I take it apart and clean, like spray paint it and paint it? But I was like, well, it's clear plastic, so I paint over it. It loses that nice clear color. It should be clear gold. Bothers me so much. Like, I don't know what Bandai is doing right now. Like, I'm gonna have to keep buying Sentai merch because that shit's always peak.
I feel like maybe Legend Special is building up to like one maybe plot relevant thing that's gonna happen to the show. And I think
they're gonna do a Falcon. I think they're gonna do a Falcon where he shows up, but they never really actually talk about the special that introduced Falcon.
And then they give us more context of who Legend is within the show.
Then in the actual
I'll be
special,
so fucking mad.
Because I remember
that means vividly. I would have to watch Gotchard until that episode happens.
Yeah. I remember very vividly. I warned Zio, don't watch that special. It means nothing. It doesn't do anything.
People were like,
it had great music though.
Yeah, but that was
the fighting was cool.
To the soundtrack on their own.
That special just kind of sort of just happened, and that was it. Just because
the show did a better job of introducing Bach.
My thing is like even with like the Legend special and how it was, I don't know how Legend would even fit into Gotchard. Like as the mainline show throughout that, how like, oh, now we're gonna add multiple dimensions into this, and then also, oh, he's been to other worlds where there's been other riders. It's like that sounds like something that you would interject in a full anniversary season, something like Revice or Zio or even Decade. That's when you put it. Like, I don't think it would fit in Gotchard.
Gotchard's not even
unless
an anniversary scene,
unless
right?
there is some shenanigans. So the thing is, it's like going back to Gotchard and actually trying to like dig into some of the breadcrumbs that they gave us this episode. Because one of the things I did not touch on was the shitty ass pull of the ex Gotcha caliber, literally
No, we
just
don't have to. He
manifesting.
holds his hand up, and
Yeah,
it worked
just
for
comes out.
Geats because he had like all these wishes ahead of time.
It worked
Yeah.
for Kabuto because we had the film.
I
So
mean,
but
it was like it was ex UFO. I mean, UFO gave them to him.
yeah, but I needed more Alien if that's the
but
case.
did
I
it
needed
because
more
we
UFO.
didn't really see it. We just saw Bright Light. They couldn't even animate it, bring it to him.
Yeah,
That is true.
They didn't even like. Why'd they make it glow so much?
Sorry,
Now-
UFO X.
Now I'm starting to theory craft here, and you know how dangerous I get when I theory craft because I dig
Yo,
really into the weeds.
No,
raw weed.
And I'm thinking now because
we don't smoke.
when he got the X Gotcha caliber, of course it was white until he said its name, then it got its color. It gave us that little Kuga-esque sequence like they did in the first episode where he saw the future transformation, how everything was supposed to go. He just envisioned it. Now I'm thinking time shenanigans. What if the first Gotchard is really just Hotaro in the future that went back in time?
Are you saying he's his own dad?
Kind of, sort of, but we don't know that was his father or not, but it could just be that because so the big thing is in the first episode, we see the Ouroboros, which implies a closed loop, the beginning and the end. Hotaro saw that, and I'm thinking that he really is beginning and ending of everything. Literally, Hotaro is the legendary
infinite cycle?
figure. Yes.
Okay.
So that is literally from the little bit that we got from this episode, and just thinking back to episode 1, I'm like, that's some stuff there. That's definitely some
juicy little tidbits.
yes.
I'm not sure.
I feel like
Look, I'm working with what I got here.
I think he's
I'm
just
working with
tapping
what I got.
into the previous writer's knowledge potentially.
He could be, but the thing is, if he already knows the name of it and things like that, and it seems to have always been his thing was his gotcha.
Now that, but
just
yeah,
like-
you got to remember the ridiculous naming conventions of it and the way he's like, "Oh, I know what this is."
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how chats talk about how bad of taste I have and stuff, but they're not giving me examples. Like Mark has the best and the worst taste ever. Oh, you're not wrong. Mark even has bad taste. I'm like, what are you talking about? I only like peak. Y'all just don't
I think
understand
they're
Ghost like I do.
referring to Ghost. Oh yeah. And your opinions of Gaim.
I don't mind Gaim. I go to Jamba Juice all the time.
I think that's the problem right there, buddy.
But I feel like you are giving this show too much credit to have some sort of like complete like story like that.
We're
don't
how
know.
many
The
episodes
right-
into this?
we're
We
over
are
for-
Too
11.
many for how the show has been going. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna review episode 32. Oh, we're on 12.
Yeah, so we're at the point now where something should be happening within the context of the show. And I'm just like looking at the little bit of seed plants that they're giving me when it comes to Gotchard. I'm just, I try grasping at straws. I try looking at things, for the finer details just to see if there's something there, that might not be there, but maybe is there. And I'm just like, give me something. I really want some lore from this.
Based on the fact that the
I'm
writers
just gonna point out all the
show are-
seeds that were planted in Geats. That just
went nowhere.
and
And
Revice and
but
Saber.
Mark,
and there's
but
always
Mark-
these seeds, and they never
But Mark,
get watered
these
and
are, I
fertilized.
feel like because the writers of the show are Ultraman writers, like specifically, like Ultraman, they have like seeds from the very beginning that don't get paid off until basically the second to last or last episode at that.
Listen here, Misty.
Yes,
I'm gonna use your government name, Misty.
go for it.
The thing is, you can't write Kamen Rider the way you write Ultraman.
Oh,
Just like you can't
absolutely
write
not.
Super Sentai the way you like, and Garo, like all these things are different and they have their own charms to it. I would not want a Kamen Rider season written like Ultraman and that thematics and how they do plant the seeds. And the last 2 episodes you get, it's different when you have 25 episodes compared to 48 to 50 episodes. So that makes sense.
Absolutely. I'm
Like,
just saying,
in
like,
Ultraman,
I feel
how
like
they do
maybe
it-
That's what they're doing.
I hope not, because if they're planting seeds now and then we find out on like episode 47, like they're like, aha, remember everything in episode 11? Ta-da! I'd be like, really?
See, but look, just me theory crafting with that, we've gotten to talk more about Gotchard.
Yeah, sure.
See, look at that.
It's
Look
like-
at that. We got Gotchard some relevancy by just thinking about it.
Although,
Episode
you gotta
45,
admit-
he finally fills out his career goals paper from
Oh my
school from the
God.
first episode. He
Shut-
fills it out.
stop
episode
it,
45
stop
and
it.
turns
The
it
first
in.
line is get
You're
good.
it's gonna happen. Mark, it's gonna happen now that you've said that. It's gonna
He's like, "What's your goal? I want to be the king of duels.
Oh,
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was."
True.
He just mentioned that he just noticed we have Ash and Misty on the stream.
Oh, no.
So it's now a Pokemon stream.
No. Oh, God, I didn't think that one out.
Cue the theme song.
Give me that extra credit.
Copyright as hell.
It's actually not to an extent.
Oh, but what was it? Before I lose the train of thought. But you gotta admit, like King-Ohger, which we're about to talk about, I assume. That's written like a Kamen Rider show.
But yeah,
Is it-
but that's also, it goes with the production staff, because that's
Yeah.
something that we talked about back when we started to find out who the staff was involved with it. And I was a little bit hesitant because, of course, we knew that it was like Takahashi's understudy and it was a lot of people coming in from his group. And I was concerned that it might be a show that takes itself a little bit too seriously. And look, what we got was serialized, really good storytelling with
Also-
great character interactions. And I fuck with that.
Misty, Kamen Rider never had Jeremy's mom, so I wouldn't say there's parallels from King-Ohger to Kamen Rider.
I may end the stream right now and just uncensor the censorship, the whole thing.
I will make these judges larger to cover
Right.
that.
He's
You
like,
can
gotta
try,
stream,
Zio. You can try.
have a Steam Deck button.
Ah,
Fix
fuck,
this
I can't.
instantly.
Because this thing is legit rigged up to be like 16 by 9. So if I
You can't
expand
stop
it, it's
me.
literally just gonna go straight to the bottom. It's not gonna
Why
work.
am I Gary, you guys?
Oh.
The hell? Why would I be Gary?
You're Gary Oak for sure.
Obviously, Mr. Mime.
Because you're gonna say
Yeah,
that
Ash is
Gary was
mom.
here, Ash is a loser, and then you're gonna dip out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like he didn't have a good Pokemon though. And then they retconned that his main Pokemon was like
Eevee?
Pidgeot.
No, they made it Eevee because they had to give him the new.
Well, in
No,
the
no,
Masters
no.
game, he has Pidgeot as like the S version of him that you was like
Play
special, as
Masters,
Pidgeot, and I'm
play
like,
mobile
really?
games?
Like,
No, I think Masters is like Game Gary. If you mean the anime, his starter was
Yeah.
Blastoise like the whole time.
I don't like anime Gary.
Didn't at one point he changed to like was it what was it again not main actor?
He's steadily blue.
Electivire?
That-
Yeah.
yeah, well, that was like the sort of like hyper Sinnoh.
Yeah.
Mark, apparently
like-
you're either Pikachu or Meowth.
It was like Electivire or Umbreon at one of them at one point.
Yeah, he had Umbreon, and then he had
As I'm wearing like freaking Evolution hoodie from
Look,
the
only if you can be
Explore New York.
this Pikachu. You got to be
Ah.
the Detective
Detective
Pikachu.
I never
Yes.
picked that one up. I need to get that amiibo because I have Detective
Jumbo
Pikachu
amiibo.
Returns and it's a fun
Yeah.
game.
Ash is what I keep seeing.
yeah.
Yeah, Ash is Ash. You
Okay.
can't change that. So
Nah.
Mark is Gary, also someone who's tapping Ash's mom.
I'll be Mr. Mime.
I want to be Mr. Mime because
He gets to
You
tap
know,
Ash's
you-
mom.
What's next? Do you want to be Professor Oak too? Guess what? On the list.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to King-Ohger. Rita stand up. I guess how you like Rita stands in the chat. How did y'all feel about this episode? Because honestly, this episode had nothing. Nothing really happened this episode. Like, think of it in terms of substance. Literally, when I was working on the review of it, I was like, man, I'm really padding out for a lot of shit with this whole Gokhan Idol bit that I'm doing for this video because of the fact that literally you could summarize everything that happened in that episode in like one sentence.
Oh,
Like-
another Gotchard syndrome.
Essentially, because Rita from the outset says that they are just doing all this to try and infiltrate the jesters and find out a weakness to exploit. That's really it. But nobody believes them. They're like, oh, there's got to be deeper meaning. I found this plushie. Clearly, it's a symbol that you missed your parents. And Rita's like, nah, my parents are still alive and well. Which I'm like, whoa, what?
Then the audience right now.
Yeah, it's just like I visit them every day. Like, I check in on them. It's like, oh, can we see them? No. Then, Himeno goes into the room and finds the old drawings of Idol Rita. In which case, they're like, I was see, you just wanted to be an idol the entire time. It was like I was a kid back then. Doesn't matter. It's like you're just in denial and you're just trying to live out that fantasy. So you can go whatever. And then Gira finds the manga of Mofun getting tossed away. Very, very nicely drawn too. Very nicely drawn Mofun manga of just it being tossed away. Like, you don't want me anymore. And it's just like, oh, is that what you think of us, Rita? That we don't want you anymore? That type of thing? Nah. Literally, it was just Rita playing the guys to get involved with the jesters to exploit the weakness. That's all it was. That's all it was. And then the only real tidbit of it is just because of the fact that Hillbill was brought in to do like a little idol off type situation. Hillbill was conquering Enkasopa. Well, Hillbill's no longer in Enkasopa. So Enkasopa's right for the picking now. Plus, Yama gets his ultra computer, which was something that was mentioned once we started this whole time skip arc, because it was literally in the reasons why he was imprisoned, was siphoning everybody's power to create that ultra computer, which I like that they're actually going back to that tidbit. And I hope that they pay off everything else. I want to see the casualties of Himeno's fireworks explosion.
I want to see what Daboski made.
I want to see the anteater that he did. Like, I got to see that. If he made his own custom shoe god that's just a giant anteater or something, or like Sergeant Ant comes back and Daboski has to like bring out the anteater, boy.
Oh no.
Peak. I'd be down for it.
I mean, this episode obviously it was good. Like, right, it was hilarious. Like the writing, everything, it kept me interested. But for actual like substance, there's really not much. And even the final thing, which was like Rita like taking the mask off and like just like, do I look okay and all this other stuff. Next episode, they're wearing it again. They're wearing the full mask all the way up. And so it's like, what was the point?
What was the point of that? Yeah,
it was like, unless they're not going to be wearing it that often or only in combat, then it would have been nice to see them just not have it anymore or some kind of proper development.
Real quick. We got Musa Muteki for $5 saying, welcome to King's Top Idol. We got Rita doing her investigation in the most oddish way possible. That's a Pokemon.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
That was funny.
Love you. Thank you, Musa Muteki.
Got to keep that Pokemon stuff going on. Also, yeah, someone pointed out there was that one idol that did end up making a cameo appearance. It's a real idol. I don't know. I don't follow idols like that.
Yeah.
But even popped them and saying, like, is this a Tokusatsu photo shoot? Just completely breaking the fourth wall. And it's like, are you part of the cast? Do I get to transform? Please tell me I get to transform. I mean, I would act the same way if I suddenly popped up in a set that looked like that. Be like, oh, this green screen? These suits? Where's my suit?
We're one season away from a Toku Isekai show happening.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
I mean, Donbrothers initially seemed like it was an isekai, and then it was just a fever dream.
Yeah.
Well, we got BoonBoomger, which is gonna have a lot of cars, so maybe someone will get run over.
It's an isekai stuff. The Rangers
That's how
being transported into Initial D.
Oh, by the way, Crazy Orb said something that is true and kind of interesting. In every Rita focus episode, Rita's not the main focus of what the episode's about
because no one would watch it.
Yeah, the first time it was the trial of like Gira. So obviously not.
I would be like, why do I care about this?
In more recent time, we had
I know there's a Suicide Squad isekai, and I don't really care about that.
No, I'm tired of everything being an isekai.
That Kaiju number 8 anime trailer dropped though. Oh.
That's fine.
The studio that gave us things like FLCL and freaking the Neon
You don't call it
Genesis
Furikuri?
films.
You don't call it
No.
Okay.
Why don't you call it Furikuri?
Psychopath? Because I don't.
Why not?
Because I don't
It's
want
Furikuri.
It's the name of the
FLCL.
show. Fully cool.
You don't see them saying that in the show?
I do hear that, but I'm gonna keep
Wait,
saying
are you
it.
talking about,
Now,
like-
'cause I know it bothers you guys. Now I'm gonna keep saying it.
I gotta talk about season 1 and 2, by the way. Fully cool.
But the team that's doing the animation, they did Psychopaths, they did freaking Ghost Hound, they did Adam the Beginning, they've done so much good stuff, and I'm like, yay! They even did the Pokemon Origins. They helped on that too. So I was like, you know what, this is a good studio, because I was kind of worried when I saw some of this, but then seeing the trailers, like, you know what, it's gonna be peak. It's gonna be the best.
No, I've read the manga.
Toku adjacent.
I've read the manga.
Oh yeah,
I read the manga. Gotchard number 8's like a really good manga. Like
It was really
that
good.
hook, like sets you up right away.
it's Toku adjacent. It's not Toku because it's manga. We know the rules.
Yep.
Non-TV stuff isn't Toku. It's Toku inspired or Toku adjacent. It's the best, one of the best Toku adjacent mangas you could read, especially because Kuga's got pushed back again. January, middle of January. It was like the beginning of January. Now it's like the middle of January. This shit's never getting like finished.
Next up, it'll be March.
March is for the 5th one, actually. So there's gonna be a 3-month break after this one's released.
Jeez.
So yeah, back to this episode. We finally got back the missing jester in the bunch, Moth Menongun, finally making his reappearance, especially with that voice that no one was expecting to come out of him. Even though, like, I mean, the voice actor is definitely very ranged in terms of what he can do, but coming off of the American playing a Japanese accent type thing was great. It was great. It's like the fakest Japanese that they were portraying on there. I know a lot of people were confused when they said the MNG line, but I'm like, that's just he literally just abbreviated his name, like as opposed to just saying Menonga, he just said MNG, like a G, which makes sense because that's what he was referring to, was just himself. And then you saw the after Rita did the attack, which for some reason when you actually watch the episode during that scene, you don't actually see his suit start coming apart, like his insides getting ripped to shreds, until you get that flashback into the scene, and then Cloudy dies. Man, that's what happens when you dress up like an e-girl.
That's yeah.
Oh my god, why does it change like that? There we go.
I still don't have any of the buttons on the screen because like I clicked the link and it still doesn't.
Yeah.
I was like,
since you click the link, then you're here as a
guest.
Good old guest. All right. He actually sent a message saying BRB in the private chat. So, oh well. Do you think that Doug Dead possessed Menongan? I don't really think so, considering that I don't know if Doug Dead has that full ability, and I really just the way that his gestures just seem, I really feel like they're very like a very sibling-esque relationship between them all. And Doug Dead's just like the very strong older brother, that type of thing. Because they all seem very, very playful, except for Goma is the only one that's not really the playful of the bunch, and Grody, after we got him, he's just like the lazy one in the bunch. But Hillbill and Menongan, as well as Kamajim, just being like sly but still willing to like play the games in there, they all seem very like childish in a way. Like you can see them like forming the dichotomy of some sort of family. So I don't think that it's really that he was possessing him, but it did look like Doug Dead was playing favorites with him this episode, especially since he was like, come on, at least let him play around with whatever you've got going on. He's got some really fun things. And even at the end, we've seen that Doug Dead is quick to chastise every other one of his jesters for letting the King-Ohgers get away, but not for Menongan. At the end, he tells him, well, was your plan to finish them fun? And he said, yes, that's all I wanted. If it was fun, then great. Even though you didn't get to do what you were planning on doing because your idea was fun. That is enough credit. So I'm thinking, okay, all right. There's something there. Why is someone asking about the small Takumi? It's right here. Small Takumi. But yeah, what are your thoughts when it comes to this episode in general, or any of the plot seeds, anything like that? Especially like Menongan having larva like target whatever the hell he had inside of him being shown at the ending there, because I'm thinking, I don't know if like it's just that all of them have a similar construction like this, and thus why they're semi-immortal. It could explain why Grody's immortal, or if they are by extension part of Doug Dead himself. So I don't know specifically like what the illusion at the end of that episode was, but I'm like, once again, this episode didn't give me too much, so I'm just like grasping at straws. I'm just like, okay, that's somewhat of a sign, but what do we got here? What do we got from what's been shown here? So, Mark, what do you think?
So going in the episode, I thought it was going to be like a fun, like Rita more backstory, because like I said, when they show some characters of Rita, I enjoy that element, but they didn't really. I feel like this was a very filler episode.
It is. It absolutely is.
And this far in, I was kind of like, man, you could just give us like a clip show or something. Like this was, because at the end with everything, that's fine to like kind of be like, oh, by the way, here's some stuff we haven't revealed to you yet, and get you thinking. But it's like, we're what, 36 plus episodes? 38, and it's like, how are you, like, it's not the time to have filler episodes, really, in my opinion, anyways. But maybe it's because most of the time I've been watching lately, I've been binging, so I don't really have this. The longest I've had to watch week to week, and I'm still enjoying the show. This episode just for me was kind of like, it was fun, but it was just nothing pertinent, nothing really. There's no weight to the main story. There's no really driving anything really forward. And I mean, it was Rita focused. I was like,
I mean, this was an episode it was an episode for the Rita stands that were wanting this, and I called y'all out in the review. Like, I feel like there's two people on the Rita boat. There's those that prefer Rita to have the stoic, very dark, like very neutral vibe that they have, and there's those that say they like that. But the second you got yourself some e-girl Rita, you were like, nah, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, liars. Liars. But Ash, what'd you think?
It was an alright episode. I mean, not a lot to talk about too much. I mean, it's cool. Like, although it's like filler-ish, because like Rita took back their kingdom. Although they didn't show it at the end, which is weird. It was like just a kind of like a fun little episode with like everything that went down from last week. Because last week was a very, very serious episode with Dabowski, and then this episode was like 2 steps back and have a silly idol episode. But with Mothman, Mingo Mothman, whatever we're calling him, I feel like they might be setting up another Fury of the Gods if he's got like lava in his chest or something like that. Like something could be building up.
What if he's the origin of the shoe gods? The shoe gods come from him. He literally cooks them up. He's a cocoon. And we know that Doug that like has a whole horde of them. Oh, we cooking. Banging, stuff like that. That's just a theory. I'm not gonna say the rest of it. No.
It's copyright. We can't say it. We'll get struck down.
We can't try saying the rest of that. So
we'll get cringed at and then struck down.
But yeah, definitely now throwing the shoe gods into the mix and looking at, you know, him, and then of course, like pretty much all of the jesters are somewhat bug based in a way, or something that like the King-Ohgers possess in terms of their arsenal in some way, shape, or form. That definitely could be the case, that they themselves are the origins to what could potentially become the shoe gods. That's good. That's damn good.
Can we talk about their undercover outfits, like their big Kanye West glasses? And
look, when we are doing the Sentai drip off again with the King-Ohger, we got to include all the fits from this episode as well.
Yeah,
and also like the Boski's like fit from last week as well. Gotta have his.
They got to be there for the bracket battle next time.
Yep, the bracket battle is gonna get even more. Maybe it's a redemption arc for some, because we'll have some old favorites. We'll have some new ones getting thrown into the mix, and just see how that ends up playing out in the bracket fights on here. So, but everybody with the pimp fits. Even Jeremy finally got something. It wasn't great, but he got something. All right, so moving on. We got a logo.
Oh, yeah, we did get a logo.
We got a logo for BoonBoomger finally. It is a thing. And if you saw the thumbnail for the previous live stream before it died, and then this one died, I just did my best to try and color it up, do something there. Which, you know, a logo is a logo, but of course, once you have the coloration, it kind of speaks a little bit more to it in a way, in the sense that we have on here. But of course, let me get to sharing my terrible portrait screen here. Is vehicles definitely confirmed with this?
Yep.
Vehicles confirmed. You got the wheels. You got the whole meter here, the speedometer getting shown in here, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's definitely, especially since they have the this part of the end of the logo definitely showing the gauge of the speed, the velocity that they're going at. So yeah, we're going super fast, y'all. Woo.
RPM 2.
Woo. And then of course showing my photoshopping abilities here. For those that didn't look at the thumb, it's all like gross because of the size. But yeah, this was just me trying to color it up and all that good stuff. So just throwing things on there, especially based off of the coloration that we kind of sort of know based off of the current speculation of what the color scheme is going to be. We're going to have orange, black, blue, pink, and red. Apparently, black is going to be a female ranger, and orange is going to be a male ranger from some of the newer leaks. So that's cool because that would be the first female black Sentai that we've gotten, which that is a thing in itself. So that's good, even though I'm still like, I was out here gunning for Suzume, like, you know, if something happens to the Boski there in King-Ohger, Suzume would get that Hachioja, but nothing's happened. So, but what y'all think about the? I mean, it's a logo, but from the illusion of it, does it kind of confirm some of the information that we had before? Because the rumors were, yes, vehicles crashing into each other. Some people were guessing now crash test dummies, that type of thing.
So I love crash test. Those toys were so cool.
They had that stupid cartoon.
The Canadian band was good with it. But I mean, it's vehicles. It's cool. Like the logo's neat. Like if I'm just hoping if they're using vehicles, are we going to get the same green screen treatment King-Ohger has? Like, are we going to go full Fast 10, like Family Ohger?
I mean, they invested so much in that technology. I can't see them not using it. I just don't know to what abundance.
Well, I was wondering if they would alternate, you know, be like, okay, Sentai gets it this season, then we're going to let Kamen Rider have it. Then we'll, like...
I can't really see Gotchard using that technology unless they literally do a whole arc in which he's in that side pocket, like, dimension.
It would have been good for Saber.
Yeah, but they probably thought of this because of Saber. They were like, 2020 is a thing. We're stuck using all this green screen. Let's invest in something good.
But yeah, I mean, the logo's cool. I'm intrigued. I mean, it's vehicles. I like vehicles. Like, I like Turbo.
A Power Rangers movie.
Speaking of Blake Foster selling plastic and die-cast replicas of his Turbo Morpher for $200.
Wait, who is?
Blake Foster.
Oh, of course he would.
He put on Instagram. I was like, are you able to like sell replicas of those? Because like I feel like that's owned by Hasbro now. Like, and I was like, 200 for diecast.
200 for that? Fuck that shit. I've seen good fan molds of like the keys. I don't know their name. Is it like Henshin Vault?
Oh yeah, Henshin Volta's really good with that stuff. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
really
do,
good. Yeah,
the gems and everything else, and they do the coins.
coins.
I
They
saw
did
their
like
stuff
some
in person.
people.
Their stuff's good.
Yeah, I've seen their Ranger stuff being floating around online of like the reader stuff, and you've got Robo Reader in the middle. That looks really cool.
Now, the thing is, that we're definitely going to end up getting some concrete BoonBoomger information within the coming weeks or so. But currently, there is a rumored staffing for the production staff for BoonBoomger. So, looking at the list of producers, we have Naomi Takebe from Geats, Minami Takashima, who was Takebe's assistant producer during Zenkaiger and Geats, and then also assistant producer during Kira Major. But then the writer, this is the big tidbit because, of course, when it comes to these shows, the head writer is always what we look forward to.
Yeah.
And the writer for this one is Katsuhiko Chiba, is the current rumored head writer for it. And
What have
this
they
guy
done?
has not done a single Toku show whatsoever, but their pedigree is a laundry list of anime going back to like the 80s.
All right.
He's
Is
done a
initial D
ton.
on that list?
No.
Oh, because I was going to say
Can you name some animes, and I'll just name off some animes.
Okay,
on
so
there.
I'm gonna name off some animes just to see how some people might know these. But the thing is, he's had some involvement in key episodes in some shows, but some he's had complete control over, like series composition and almost the entire series run. One of the more recent ones was Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai, the latest one.
Okay,
I've heard good things about that.
Which yes, that one definitely is a good one. Another thing that he's worked on, here's Misty joining on in. We're talking about the rumored head writer for BoonBoomger.
How'd defending your gym badge go?
I lost.
Damn.
Listen, running a gym with all water types, turns out water types got a lot of weaknesses, bro.
I'll say you lost to a fire type.
There's like a weird new grass electric type, bro.
Now, he was involved for 36 episodes of Inuyasha.
Okay.
I like it.
He also worked on the anime adaptations of all the Rockman EXEs, so the Battle Network animes. Every single one of them, including going into the Star Force anime. He worked on those.
Star Force.
He worked on some classic animes from the 90s, such as Slayers and Slayers Next.
Okay.
Let's see here. Another big one, Shaman King.
Oh,
okay.
Yep, 2001's the first one.
The first one?
Yep.
Not the anime, right?
Yes, the anime. He also worked on Gundam Wing and Turn A Gundam. So people were wondering in some of the rumors, well, in the rumor they listed that they worked on Gundam, but they didn't state specifically which Gundam. And for me, I'm like, that's vital information because I got to know which Gundam.
Turn A is a really good Gundam season.
Yes, it was. He, besides the TV series, he also worked on the screenplay for the two movies for Turn A Gundam. Which were compilation films, but still, the way that it flows and structured and things like that. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! First season, 1998.
Season 0 or?
Not season 0. Season 0 was Inoue. This is the first of the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know. Okay, okay.
Zatch Bell.
Oh.
Zoids 0, which was the first one that we got here in the US.
That was good.
Okay, first for you guys, like we got the one before that.
Chaotic Sentry.
Yeah, because in Australia I think it aired Chaotic Sentry and then Zoid 0 like after.
Outlaw Star.
Oh.
Okay.
Outlaw Star. The entire series composition. He did the script for it, pretty much all of it.
Okay.
So you're saying is I trust him.
Yeah, like this is a good list, and it's varied. He's not like pigeonholed to just one thing. He's done a lot of different things on there, and that gave me a lot of optimism into what we got going on here. I'll let you know that one of the shows that he also worked on was a show called Butt Detective. I'll let you fill in I'll let you fill in the blanks on that one.
Okay.
And that is butt with 2 T's.
So, well, let's hope he's not pigeonholed too much by whatever the Toei or Bandai execs have in store for the show.
He has a video game. I'm gonna get it.
As a video game? Okay.
Also, I
There
guess
was a South Park episode.
For some people that I haven't watched Beyblade in ages, but he apparently worked on Beyblade Metal Fury and Beyblade Metal Masters. I know there's younger people in the chat.
I saw
They're
Fury.
the new ones.
It was pretty good.
I'm the original trilogy for Beyblade. I haven't watched anything after.
I've watched all the current Beyblade.
Beyblade's kind of mid sometimes.
Even the Burst.
Back in the 90s, he also worked on Knights of Ramune and 40DX and EX. Oh my god, those were good. Those
So
were
this guy's got
Toku
a
shows of the
huge
90s.
history.
They did a lot of shows that I actually really heavily enjoyed in the 90s and the early 2000s. Onmyo Taisenki is another one that he's got on here under his belt. He worked on Naruto Shippuden as well, 61 episodes on the screenplay, series composition for Shippuden as well. In terms of how he adapted that manga onto the screen.
Oh.
Duel Masters Victory worked on that one as well, because I know there's a lot of the card players that are in the chat as well.
Wait, you didn't watch Duel Masters?
No. I watched the dub for Duel Masters was a gag dub, and it was a goddamn garbage. No. Pop culture references to that era of American TV. It was shit. It was shit.
Like I just remember it had Ty from Digimon in it, and then there was weird 4-4 breakings.
He worked on the Blue Dragon TV anime as well.
Ooh,
that was
underrated video game. No one appreciates Blue Dragon.
So yeah, a lot. Like I said, this is a really good and someone that's kind of fresh to when it comes to the Toku scene in a way, because it looks like they've worked on a handful of live action stuff, but nothing to the extent of proper Tokusatsu.
Okay.
Sometimes you need that though. You need a fresh, like, new Toku director to be brought in, you know, because you get the same names in a way, stuff like that over and over again. It's like, hey, this person did anime, and it speaks also to how popular anime has gotten, and then them wanting to branch out and do live action, because the more these shows get more budget, more tech, more outlandish, bring in someone who does anime.
Yeah, and the thing is that's something that back like episodes ago when we were discussing like how do we like revitalize the franchise and how do we do it, and one of the things that I mentioned was just like we keep going with like the same few people to keep coming back to redo these shows. So we would get like repeats of head writers that we've gotten in past Sentai seasons or past Kamen Rider seasons, and I wanted someone that comes from a different field, and that's what we're getting here. So that gives me like full-on cautious optimism when it comes to this. I'm always cautious with my optimism. I'm never like full-on like let's go, because it could always end up being a shit show. We just don't know, because part of it does go into the VFX that goes into things. But given how they handled King-Ohger, and right now like looking at things, King-Ohger hasn't really had any spectacular giant robot battles in ages. Almost this entire second half. We've gotten like 2 fights in mechs, and one of them was Kyoryu Jin rocking the other fin,
was
but
Jeremy's mom, I think, right?
Yeah, well, the other one was Jeremy's mom, yes.
Yeah, it was.
And that one wasn't that grandiose outside of Jeremy's mom, but in terms of the effects and all that, nothing was, you know,
it was just
out there.
Say goodbye.
Besides, you know, Jeremy's mom's cheeks, but outside of that, you know,
y'all are weird, bro.
Yeah, says you.
Yes, I do say that.
Okay. Got it. Noted. So
you see where you stand.
So really the thing that I have from that is when we see a setback when it comes to the VFX that they've been putting into the King-Ohger fights, because remember, a lot of those early King-Ohger fights were like straight out of an anime. That was spectacular
so
for
good.
Sentai mech fights. I was out on Sentai mech fights because they became so mundane and formulaic for a while. And Donbrothers was like one of those shows going like, look, we know you don't care about these mech fights, so they're only going to last like 15 seconds. We're just doing it just so like Toei can say, here, Bandai, here's your toy commercial. Let's get back to the crazy shit. While King-Ohger definitely like went into it in the beginning because it's the name of the show. It's King-Ohger. It's the name of the mech. But if they're not doing anything with it now, I'm thinking that already they've already probably finished the majority of the finishing touches for a lot of the King-Ohger fights going into the end of the show. And they're already working on the BoonBoomger like VFX when it comes to the mech fights, because the amount of animation that it took for those King-Ohger fights, they were probably working on that before the show even started filming. So if we start going into the fact that we've been a little not having King-Ohger fights recently, it can kind of go to show that this show might have some really up there VFX. And it could be the most anime as fuck. Like, people were already saying King-Ohger was anime as fuck when it came out, but this might be the most anime as fuck Sentai season.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
There's like vehicles. Be like Need for Speed Carbon.
If they make it work similar to there was this anime that I checked out years ago when it was airing, Gyro Zetter. If it's anything like that, that would have been that'd be cool. Especially if they make the mechs look as streamlined as Gyro Zetter. That had some really good mech designs.
I hope
those are good, because obviously King-Ohger, and like you brought up the early episodes, the mech fights, like that's what got me into the show. If you go back and watch my reviews when I was reviewing them, I was like, this is great. This is like cool action. It's like, I love this. And then now I actually have the full God King-Ohger. If it continues that trend, and I've even been jumping into the SMP mini plot stuff. Like I got some Japman, like the Japman ones pre-ordered that are coming out. And I got the Gao Lion, whatever those things are called, because I'm still learning the names. And I was like, man, if the cars are set, like I hope we get some cool mecha fights, because I've been getting into those toys and it's really enjoyable.
I mean, the last car or vehicle team Sentai we had, like Kira Major, I mean, their mech looked really good. I liked the way that they handled that.
Xavier, what are you talking about? That's exactly what we've been talking about for like the last 10 minutes.
What? I think you just joined in chat, maybe.
Oh.
Maybe you just joined.
I mean, they were on there earlier, but that's literally what we just spent like the last several minutes completely talking about.
Like 15 minutes or so. It was 2 meta battles worth of conversation.
Going over everything that's been going on in terms of what they've written before. And just seeing how that would equate to the possible optimism we've got for this.
I mean, Sentai has been cooking, so I have faith.
So anything else when it comes to BoonBoomger? I mean, like I said, the coloration is going to be different because we're going orange, black, along with red, blue, and pink.
I think it's cool. Like I said, I'm still new to Sentai stuff, so I don't speculate on anything. I just look at who the director is. Like you said, we go over what they are, and I'm like, cool. Other than that, I just don't. I don't know how, because like I'm the type who waits until I see something. Like even when like the silhouettes in the magazine, which will be coming out fairly probably another month or so, December or January, because December is January's issue and so on. Like that'll be cool to speculate, but like for me, I'm just like I wait until I actually see the suit reveals, like the press conference and trailer. That's when I start to like really get excited for any Toku stuff, and I'm not going to try and the name is going to bother me. Boom, like I'm just going to call it.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it BoomHower.
BoomHower.
Yeah, you know.
Oh my God!
The thing is,
the mechas don't go combine.
I've already learned from Donbrothers, I can't judge a season based off of its suits, because I hated the Donbrothers suits when I'm still not that big. They grew on me, but it was literally just the aspect of the show itself.
Yeah,
that ended up making things work for me, because
Donbrothers,
the characters, it was great. I mean, you didn't even like their final the power up for the Ready at all.
No, I still don't like it. Even like I said, that power up looks better on everyone else that gets to touch it, except him.
You even look better on Oni's sister.
Because the color coordination worked.
Mhm.
Because the color coordination worked. But it was nice revisiting some Donbros again for the content that I put out earlier in the week.
Yeah.
So that was
specials were great.
that was a fun revisit of those shows, and just rewatching them again, I was like having a laugh. I was just like, man, all this stuff is just great. I miss this kind of shit.
How many more specials do you think you're gonna get?
I don't know, because I think Inoue is still busy with whatever, like after they're done with everything VFX wise and stuff like that for the Fi's 20th that's coming out in February.
Okay.
Then maybe he might dip a toe into some more Donbro stuff. But I'm like,
That'd be
just
great.
keep the train going.
Do you think we could get a show like Donbros again? I'm just curious because like it was so unique and interesting, especially for the time. Like I was curious, can we get another show that can capture the same lightning and the Bob Less feel of that?
That's the thing, is like Japan really loved them, some Donbros. And that definitely
Yeah.
ended up showing in terms of the public reception for it was, amazing. I know that there was recently like news that apparently the I think it was the Twitter or the Instagram account for King-Ohger finally reached like 100K or something like that. Well, Donbrothers got close. It was like at 94K or something like that. But then, of course, when we were reviewing toy sales and stuff like that, I think it might be more of a possible Western demographic shift, because the Western demographic seems to really love them some King-Ohger, while Donbros was like a 50-50 shot. You either loved it or hate it when it came to like the Western community, because it would be those that are treating Donbros like how I'm kind of sort of treating Gotchard. At least I'm still watching Gotchard, but there's people that just outright, stopped it.
I think it's because the comedy they couldn't get really into it, or
There are people that are now giving it second chances, which is good, because I guess they figure like now that the show's done, but they still have content that's coming out, then something like has to speak to why this keeps getting content. So I don't know if they would keep doing that, or honestly, like at this point, just give us Donbro specials like every year until we're 10 years in,
too.
and then after 10 years, give us Donbros 2 as the season for that year.
Just give us Donbros 2 right now. I'm ready.
So like 2032, you heard it here first. Donbros 2 will be the season.
Bros 2. 30.
Nice.
Don even more brothers is what it's gonna be.
Don't even. I keep seeing this like the Don Brothers guide on HobbyLink Japan, and I kind of want to get it.
Oh,
Like the perfect special book. There's only like 4 left. It just sit on the shelf, but because it's most of the scans that you can find online, but it looks pretty, like, I don't know. Because for my desk at work, I kind of want to like put like my little. I'm sorry if I jumped on a tangent.
no, keep going. Go.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I want to like I've got like the Don Dorogoku stuff vinyl, so I kind of want to get like a Donbro, like a Momotaro stuff vinyl to put on my like desk at work.
We're never gonna not tell you to spend money.
Yeah.
Like,
Social
You spend money?
Yeah.
that is true.
Ash, what are you trying to buy?
That's right. I said like one of the soft vinyls, like something like that from my desk at work with Don Bros.
You should buy an SH figure while you're at it.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not leaving that on my desk at work, and that goes missing.
No,
And
at
it's
least
from-
it's supposed to be. Those are
$80 that can just get stolen.
those are cheap as fuck.
Or a photo
Yeah.
of an SH figure, like framed on your desk.
just a frame.
you just have a Momotaro just framed on your
It should
desk.
know
Yeah,
it's him holding the Momotaro.
Yes.
Zero gets an opposite as a
everyone's
Sonoma
got their
photo
pets
framed.
and their loved ones and their families on their
Look, I
desk.
got the
Meanwhile,
photo
I've
books,
just
I'm
got
good.
this- yeah,
I've got a
Yeah.
Sentai team on my desk instead.
Yeah.
These are my family.
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta.
Zero has a desk, like Sononi at his desk, like, oh, nice family. He's like, yeah. He's sitting there like Wolverine with a photo in bed. Just like,
Point of a wife.
Well,
a
good
lovely
thing
wife you got there.
good thing my work desk is the desk here, because I don't have an office I have to drive to, so
true.
I just have to drive to 3
Lucky
fucking
you.
states.
Oh.
So,
Yeah. Take all
it's
those
not gonna
calls.
help me. Next week I got to drive down to Pensacola, and that's like a 4-hour drive. So
Oh, nice. There's
One
a
way.
Good, there's
One
a good toy store over there.
I know, but they haven't. Look, Hyperspace Toys hasn't had shit the last 4 times I've been there. I've been
That's
disappointed.
true. Yeah.
What
I
if
haven't
this
been out
time
there
you
in,
have
like,
it?
I think I bought out like
ages
all their
now.
good shit, and now it's like just more Power Ranger stuff, and yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
I'm kind of
be
over
great.
buying Power Ranger stuff.
I mean, is there anything really good to buy?
There's this new little, it's kind of like a Nendoroid for the Megazord that got like announced. And I was talking to a few people on social media about it. I was like, and one of them was like, dude, I kind of like this more than the Zap Megazord. I was like, not gonna lie, I do too. This looks really cool because it's fully posable and it's like a Nendoroid, but a little bit taller of the regular, Mighty Morphin Megazord, but it looks so good because it's kind of super deformed.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of digging that obscure Toku merch, not just Power Ranger stuff, where it's like, here's a super deformed version of the Sentai or Kamen Rider thing. I'm like, those are nice. Those are charming. They're not normal.
Oh, God, I'm just curious. I really hope that they, for the purposes of whatever they move on to Power Rangers next, if it's even called Power Rangers, I hope they really leave
It
Mighty
has to be called
Morphin
Power Rangers. That's the IP.
I hope it's called Power Rangers Power Force.
Ranger Power.
Power Morph.
They're
Just drop.
Park Rangers. They're just Park Rangers with superpowers.
Just leave Mighty Morphin alone.
Leave it alone.
Power Rangers Mighty Morph.
Well, if you must know, someone tweeted out
Morphin
a
Mighty.
photo from Family Matters when Urkel had his robot version of Urkel, and instantly I was like, I need to finish this Alf video because I'm gonna do what if Family Matters was Metal Hero.
Oh my fucking god!
I'm gonna have a TGIF universe where it's like, what am I call it? TGIT? Thank God it's Toku.
Just get that Alf video. It's been a year, Mark. It's
I
been
know.
a year.
I don't want to edit. Does anyone want to edit for me?
No.
Like,
No.
I'll pay.
Look, I put
Only
enough
for
editing
free.
into my videos, so that's why I do this, so I don't have to
I
edit this
literally
shit.
just don't like editing. Like, I have so much like stuff filmed for a whole bunch of other videos, and I'm like, man, this is a lot of editing. I don't wanna.
I hate editing. If only I could.
I mean, I do it twice a week with my videos. So.
Zio, that's a lie, and you know it. There's more time.
If there's a certain person in your Discord server who does art and commission stuff, would stop like, I don't know, worrying about go to school and all this other stuff, will just be my editor for money. Like, it'd be so much easier. But no, I gotta go to school and do like real adult stuff. It's like, no, just edit my videos. I'll pay you.
Look, he's
You
also
can be-
waiting for all his mid-geek shit to arrive that's stuck in customs.
Yep.
Which, speaking of Geats, we did end up getting production notes
Oh,
for Geats finally.
what'd you find
Oh,
out?
I have not heard about these.
So, like, there's been some scans going around that they've been translating in terms of plot points that were either dropped, reasons why certain things happened, and things like that, which is part of the reason why, like, we're kind of playing what if with Geats. And one of the first ones that really stood out to me is that apparently Takahashi had planned for Sarah to die in every single arc of Geats. Like from the very beginning, that was his plan for Sarah to die.
That made
But
me
they kept
so
going like,
happy.
"Don't do it, don't do it."
Don't do
So
it.
he kept going like, "Oh God,
That made more
pushing
sense.
it back."
Just to give an idea of how great hearing that made me happy, because online, me and Kaiju Carl troll Brokusatsu because he's a big Sarah fan, and he would have his whole thing like, the worst arc was they killed her, this and that. And I'm like, she deserved it. And I was throwing up memes and gifs of like, if she dies, she dies. I'm like, she should have been killed every game, every iteration. And I said that months ago. I said that months ago.
It was alluded to. You could tell that was the entire plan from the outset. Was just like, this is not a character that's meant to be anything more than just
no character growth, just
death,
motivation. And I was literally like, when he was mad that, oh, I'm so glad they didn't do that. I'm like, no, that would have been peak. Every game done.
Dead. Every game killed.
Yes, and it should have been something stupid every time too. That would have been funny if it's just like she trips and falls and like the piano falls from the sky and crushes her, like, or an anvil, or she falls off a cliff, like just stupid death.
She could have been the Storm Kiva, the Kenny from all of for
like, oh
all
my
of
god, you
Geats.
killed
It's just like,
Sarah.
how's Sarah gonna die this week? Oh my god, gruesome.
The rats.
But
have
they
to
went
die
with
for
the
away every
tree.
time, though.
Eventually, they just went with the tree.
Yeah, and that was the worst possible way, especially with the way that they brought her back. I'm just like, it sounded like Takahashi really wanted to kill her and just have her stay dead. But then they, had to get the character redemption out the way. Because another thing about this entire tidbit is that they were debating whether or not Keiwa was going to be the final boss of Geats or not.
Should have been.
Should have been. Would have been better.
Definitely would have worked.
Would have been better.
All that build up would have been perfect.
Because especially at the beginning, you remember his line just like no more trust. Perfect. Just have him go
Yeah.
down that villain.
The
line.
entire thing is like he definitely had a very like cookie cutter worldview of how things should work. And then everything in the DGP kind of threw that entire
Morphed him.
notion out the window. But he kept coming back to his like sugary plane of existence to how things should end up working. And I'm like, this is so weird. It's always like we're taking a few steps forward and then more steps back when it came to Keiwa, especially with how prominent he was in the intro. It looked like they were laying the foundations for something like this, just for them to like, I guess, back off and then still make him the villain for a little bit, and even then make it as short as it was.
And like with Sarah dying like all the time in the beginning, that would have been perfect motivation.
Yeah. I mean, like him being the final boss, I feel like that would have stuck the landing.
Yeah,
He could have took out the DGP, everyone else, like him beating freaking Regard and Regatum, Mayguns, this, that, then you just get Bujin Sword. And from a suit design, him being black and green and Geats having like the white with the red, contrasting, perfect setup.
And they could have actually had a better fight than the actual fight they had in the show. God.
Yeah, without this.
And
I think they could have given him a better prop sword too.
Playing with definitely. Playing with the notion of if Sarah ended up dying earlier, I was thinking it's like they could have definitely worked that into like say the second arc, have Sarah die, and then make Keiwa's wish once they came back to like the DGP in the third round be to bring Sarah back. But then he loses that DGP, someone else gets their wish, and then when he comes back, he's more vengeful. He's like, I lost out on bringing back my sister. You prevented that. And we start seeing like that entire shift in like the mental gymnastics that Keiwa was playing. It would have worked out so much better had they actually killed Sarah off.
If they killed her constantly over and over every game, I feel like
it would have
chip away at his sanity of him having to witness that over and over again.
Yeah, it would have
the nightmares in the middle of the night.
Especially if they had a scene similar to like when Neon was remembering like the real mom look after she came back. Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah,
so
there's
good.
so much like, and like, I saw a lot of the notes that were on social media where everyone's saying all the production notes, this, that, and it kind of made me like it's the thing with like Saber. I understand because they had issues why they had to do stuff over. Revice less reasonings, but they still had some restrictions. But it's like Geats, I was like, why? Like you had all these, there's a lot of good production notes in there. You had no strict filming protocols or this and that. It's just you just changed your mind.
And honestly, like think of the story we could have gotten with like just those two elements alone. Like, geez, like, I feel like it was missed out opportunity.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the bigger final like plot threads that I thought was God, really, all of this would have fixed some glaring issues that we ended up having with the show, especially when it came to Keiwa. Another one was about Suiru in general and why he did what he did. Because the thing is just like, he definitely should have just left after they did the whole curtain call and shit, and they dipped out and stuff like that. But he still came back. Came back. Within the production notes, they say that the way that Suiru was intended to be portrayed was that in the future society, everyone essentially is virtually emotionless. But Ace brought out a deep-seated hatred within him to the point of even when he called curtains, he could have literally just did, like we said, just stay away. There was no need for him to come back, and it wouldn't have affected anything at all whatsoever. But because he had that animosity, his grudge was too much and he had to come back. And it's just like, great. I wish he said that in the show.
Yeah,
because
some of that.
The way he just showed up was like, why?
Wait, was this Sul who showed near the end?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Dude. It would have also made you wouldn't have had to have had like the whole Goddess of Creation 2 thing be his big motivation. You know what I mean? Like if his motivation was just, I hate you, I just want to throw hands. That would have been better. Yeah. Because guess what? Geats is easily hateable. Everyone hates him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would understand.
So I was like, man, if only you guys had put in like a couple of lines within the episodes to at least give us that, but they didn't give us anything. Even like a side Suidu special, something dealing with like the future people or something like that.
So I talked about it, like, not on here because we weren't doing the stream at the time, but I talked about one of my videos back when Revice was airing. I wanted every season after Revice to get kind of like a Revice legacy. Like we could have a Geats legacy 5-ish episode thing, or like with a Gotchard legacy. Like keep that legacy like as like a new brand, like a rider legacy thing, and give us like a 5-episode each season side arc that like explains either like a secondary character or a villain or this and that. Just have it on the side, just as like a nice little extra lore and world building.
Not King-Ohger
wish
had
that's
that.
what they would have continued.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least
so
they
then
tried to.
the other tidbit that we got on there is that essentially the reason why Time Daddy became a writer to begin with was because the staff was just like, you know what, it would be a little bit offensive if we just don't make this guy a writer. Like we've got quality person here that definitely like people are gonna get mad if we don't do shit with him. Let's do some shit with him. So
I'm not even mad they made him a writer. Honestly, he had some of the good moments towards that latter half of the show.
I didn't like that as soon as he got transformed, he got bodied
He got
instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good fight choreograph though, and filmed good though. So
Yeah, it was a good beatdown on him.
He had definitely some of the best story in the show. Like his daughter freaking died, and he handled it the worst way.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm.
So the other aspect regarding that entire matter is that within the internal production, they were debating whether or not Beat was going to be Nago's regular form or fantasy. And eventually they ended up deciding on going with Beat for it, even though at the end they were like, yeah, we can throw in something in here. And that's when they pulled out the fantasy out of nowhere. But I'm still like, at that point, y'all should at least made fantasy a full suit versus like just the half suit that we got.
Although I will say fantasy
the
the colors better.
Yeah. Within the color scheming, it works much better. It, some people were speculating that maybe they had done Beat early because it was technically gonna be like Revice's form for the whole movie crossover.
Yeah,
because that's the form
really.
Yeah. So they already had
also,
that.
They needed
in
to do
there.
Beat first because then we had to get the Trust Last CD with the black and white version of the buckle.
But even then, Trust Last was one of those songs that got delayed to hell and back because that was the first time I've ever seen the delay of a full theme song.
It's because that second verse, they're like, do we really want to keep the second verse in there? Can we re-record this and change it?
Yeah, even 01 got their full release relatively a lot sooner than Trust Last. And they had an excuse.
Sure.
Let's see here. What else we got? We had a lot of stuff from the movie, but the entire thing when it comes to the movie. So the movie, for those of y'all that are connoisseurs of the proper internet way of getting your subs, then you might know that the movie dropped just without subs. So the raws are out there. If you're out there raw dogging some Geats, you can definitely raw dog on some Geats right now. But if you don't raw dog on some Geats, I don't advise raw dogging on some Geats. You might get some rabies, you might get something, you might get a god complex. Don't know.
As someone who suffers from the last one, I understand completely.
So, but yeah, in terms of some of the situations that lead up to the event and even like the cameo appearance that we got of Cross Geats at the end of things, there were some notes regarding that as well. So just a little bit of a side note, and definitely it's going into other worlds and cameo appearances type things of speculations. So originally, when Mira and Mello appeared in episode 45, Mira had killed the god Loki and stolen his powers. So when he saw Geats 9 during that episode, he used Loki's powers to copy Geats' forms, and that's how we got Cross Geats. He literally just says, want that. And then he got it.
He's like, I like that suit.
Yeah. He was like,
Full Juggernaut. He's like, I like your raincoat.
Copy that.
Yeah.
So essentially, this guy's like the God Butcher, probably the proper God Butcher that we should have gotten in Thor: Love and Thunder, but we didn't get that. He mentioned killing other gods such as Susanoo, which is one of the children of Izanagi, and of course, you know, that was one of the code names that we had for Kamen Rider. Cross Geats in there. And another thing is that he apparently, one of his targets was the man of the beginning of Helheim, which goes back to Gaim.
Oh. So he would have killed Kota Kisara.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So essentially, he's just out here slaying gods, taking their abilities left and right, and that type of thing. So that is the big aspect when it comes to that character. And I'm like, cool. I wonder if any of this is going to get mentioned in the movie at all. Probably not.
Was there an explainer, by the way, at all for like why Geats is immortal and all that nonsense?
No.
Oh, okay. Because technically we never got a reason for that.
We haven't seen anything on that, and really that entire. I still really don't like the ending of Geats and the way that went about.
Yeah, he died.
No, I'm still like how he just came back as a god. It would have worked so much better had they made like either the final villain, if it wasn't going to be Keiwa, that Tsuda was a future version of Ace in some way, shape, or form.
And then they just killed Tim, finally.
Yeah, and it turns out that he was the maker of his own undoing, that type of thing. The curse of his constant reincarnation ends with him being done in by him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of cursed with knowing how his own ending is going to be, but he still plays that. You know, that kind of shit. Could have been good.
I mean, it would have explained why the hell he like became Sulu in the end and the way I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was very weird. Did this explain that?
No.
Oh.
We got just suit information, a lot of different suit information.
I'm wondering
when it comes to the thought process.
Because of how popular Geats was, do you think we'll get the stage show? We'll get the stage show subbed. Do you think they'll do the whole talk show that they do after? We'll finally get one of those subbed because we never get those subbed.
I don't know. I don't think
Maybe. So. I guess it's whoever subs it or translates it. If
I'm curious. I would love to see like that post stage show talk show that they usually do. Sometimes I would love to see one of those subbed because they usually talk more about production of the show and stuff after that.
Yeah.
But the film should be subbed soon. It's been released like 4 or 5 days now. 3.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I'll watch it just because I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm more curious about the King-Ohger one as well.
Oh yeah, that one.
Honestly, the Geats stuff that I'm kind of more interested in is just seeing how this whole this side special of the Poison Rage Buffa.
I hope Sarah dies in
it.
it.
We're getting that.
I hope Sarah dies in it. Right
with Ace still being in his blonde-haired, white-haired, blue-eyed dragon form. You know.
Oh, and what's her name is back? I forgot her name. Berba. Yeah, the young
yes,
Berba is back.
as not Berba, but kind of sort of Berba. We don't know,
but
she's gonna be the whatever that lady was for Snipe in
I'm still mad we never saw her
definitely dressing in that
350-year-old face, like the old version. Like that's I'm still mad. We never the whole future stuff was so pointless in that show. Looking back, because we never got anything from it.
Apparently, the future stuff that we were looking forward to would be in the movie. They actually go into more talk about the future society and how they actually play out. Because another thing in the notes they said on there is that the way that the future operates is the DGP is one of many other type of style shows that the future produces for entertainment. So there's other variations on there, and essentially Sueru is just the one like producer, like executive producer out of others that exist making their own shows. So it kind of opens up a whole can of worms of other potential things. But obviously, if they're doing their shows a different way, then it probably isn't all like writer folly and things like that.
We got Revice, but it's like a reality show in their future, like the Kardashians. It's a family owning a spa.
Reality show in different time periods. People just really go back and look at it. Really is that South Park episode of Earth.
Yeah.
The reality show.
Yeah.
Gaim would be America's Best Dance Crew on MTV.
Mm.
So all these different reality competition
bet
shows
their
are in the
dancing
future. It's all
sucks.
different seasons.
Yeah.
None of Gaim's
Dude, that's not
dances.
Porionics. I don't want to watch this.
Wasn't feeling that one. Let's see. In terms of Ricardo Mega, having the eye open was requested from the beginning, as the heads
Good.
of glares and gazer were designed in such a way to be able to tell the idea of an eye opening. So basically mimic an eyelids. So now we're starting to get into like some of the suit information and how they planned on making some of these different aspects.
Nice.
So let's see here. This one is in regards to Cross Geats, was originally black with silver accents, but they changed the accents to turquoise, so it wouldn't clash with Bujin's sword, which they beat. Like the designer of this was designing at the exact same time.
Black
So they
Bolt
were
sounds
designing
good,
both
though.
suits at the same time and just didn't want them to be too samey.
Black
terms
Bolt
of
sounds
that
good
aspect.
though. I want to see black. I mean, I like the turquoise on it. It's a really clean black with that color, but like gold would have been nice.
We did get a gold-ish Geats thing.
I mean, we're gonna get it.
We're gonna get it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't like that.
I like that Geats.
I like Bujin's sword more
Ah, yeah.
because the green is
The
too
green
nice.
black is pretty good, and it's
It's too
actually
nice.
a
The little
decent
silver
kit.
accents.
It's actually not a bad kit bash. It's pretty good.
No.
Let's see. And talking Bujin's sword buckle, making the design of the mechanism that transforms into a sword by drawing the sword like a gurikazan. The idea of Tycoon's face seems to have been in the designer's mind, since that's why a Tanuki's face was reflected on the buckle. The intent of it being over the ID core being in the same as the Boost Mark 9 buckle. The overall detail and design was a superior version of the Ninja Rays buckle that they were going for. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Mhm.
From the beginning, it was intended for Bujin's Sword Tycoon to have black eyes for the evil version and red eyes for the good version was actually later asked. They even recognized that the goggles make it hard to notice it. Yeah, that's why they should have at least changed out the visor on him to properly reflect that, because that was something that was a little hard to tell, was whether or not his eyes were black or if they were red on there. But it turns out that there was black version when evil, red eyes when good, that type of thing. The jump from Tycoon's cuter mask to his Bujin sword was to give the viewer a powerful impression. They call Keiwa a hypocrite due to him losing his sister, showing his true nature after being the one to wish for a world peace. It would have been nice if the process of Keiwa becoming negative was written in more detail, but it's still a bit sketchy. So even they acknowledge that Keiwa's turn to evil was kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no prolonged real buildup. It was very okay. Now you're evil.
Yeah, it's just like now you're gonna use Sumri to do some crazy shit.
It's like your sister only got kidnapped because she was getting a second job because you were lazy and didn't have a job.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Kept
called
asking him to get a
self-inflicted pain.
job, didn't do it, so she had to get a second job.
And the fact that he never, I still think him and Nan, that there was something there built up a lot throughout the show and then nothing.
Oh my god, yeah, that ending with Neon. Like, I really hope that wasn't intended to be the thing from the very beginning.
The thing is, there's no proper notes when it comes. I guess Noun really was kind of an afterthought when it came to some of these, because honestly, outside of the Beat Fantasy and her dad bit, I haven't seen any notes regarding Neon and what was really planned for her outside of that, because it's odd, especially the whole Kyun aspect of things, because I'm just like,
I feel
Kyun
like
was such a nothing character.
I don't think she was supposed to be in the show for that long. I don't think she was supposed to be a main character from start to finish, honestly.
I think she was supposed to lose and just be gone a lot earlier.
And then like, no, but she's a live streamer and popular. We need to keep a female around. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I think they probably kept her because she had that big following in social media and all that stuff before the show went on air, and they didn't want to lose on that fan base. That's a demographic. That's like the coveted demographic that they're trying to get a hold of. So, Let's see here. The black cape was attached to the final boss in order to echo his powerful performance, and also in order to be able to fight Geats 9 on equal footing. Wow, so cape really was just there to be like, this is how we show power. We put a cape on him.
Cape.
Oh, that explains Bujin sword. Yeah,
It makes sense, honestly, when you think about it.
Yeah.
The black color was also in contrast to the white color of Geats 9. It is also designed that it has the image of the armor of a military general, Dark Lord. Yeah, that's why we got that black general line with Bujin sword. So it really seems like Bujin sword was. It looks like, with all intents and purposes, it was meant to be the final boss of Geats.
That would have actually been a lot cooler than.
It looks like a final boss form, though, when you think about it. It's very, like, imposing.
I do like Regat, but I think if Kawa and Geats had gone at it at the end, that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, that driver was so nice. Regat, like, Omega.
So they do admit, only the shoulder armor, thigh straps, and cape are new. Everything else are reused, from the chest armor being command form, forearms are from shinobi form, and the lower body is from ninja form. And the samurai sword is just a new gauge thing. So it's literally
Styrofoam they found on the side.
Regular ass.
Like, look at the styrofoam. Can we make a sword out of that? It's like, yeah, it won't break while we're filming.
So in terms of what we got for Bujin sword, that's the production notes and what the thought process was when it came to doing all that. But I'm just like, see, this just makes me wish that Kawa would have just been the final boss. But I don't know if they just backed off in the last second, or maybe the social media outburst that they had of Kawa suddenly becoming a villain, because apparently even Japan thought, nah, don't do this.
Well, that's because they didn't. If they had properly like hinted at it earlier, which they did, they just dropped it and then kept going back to it. Then
we know that was always the plan. That was part of the plans. Was we're gonna try and make this. It's not the thought process of what we had earlier, where we thought it might have been like a Kabutoga attack aspect, where they were gonna make like Tycoon the hero of the story, and even though it was called Geats, it was still gonna focus more on him, but make him literally the antagonist of said story.
I would have been actually pretty cool and entertaining. Also, it was in his theme that he was gonna be evil at some point. It was literally
the illusions were all there. So, like, what are some thoughts when it comes to at least like that entire thing? Like, now that we know so much more when it comes to the thought process going into Bujin sword, Sarah dying at almost every possible arc, and Kawa becoming villain. Like, Ash, you've been a little bit silent. What are your thoughts when it comes to that?
The Bujin sword.
No, all of it.
Bujin sword, Kawa becoming like villain, the potentials of it all, and how it would have worked out.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Like, there was like, it sounds like there was like a couple of production meddlings involved with everything going on. But yeah, it looks like things could have went down very. I do wonder what the reception for the show would have been if like a lot of this stuff went down differently. But the neon bit is also interesting, because how we had the cast switched out like after the first game. I do wonder if that was their plan. If they were just going to switch out the cast like every game, and then like you said, like the actress who plays Neon was like fairly popular, so they kept her around. And then we just had the main four that we followed in the show. But yeah, like there's some stuff we could have got or not got, but yeah, quite some interesting stuff.
And Mark, any other thoughts to throw in there?
Thinking about all this, honestly, like, hey, what being the final villain? Hear me out. Let's put on our thinking caps here. Okay, so this whole entire time,
make a presentation again.
Oh, I listen. If I had time, I will have a better one for next Friday. I will do a Google slide presentation for this. Don't worry, Cloudy. You're saved this week. I will save the Jeremy's mom one for another time when you least expect it. Probably for the finale of King-Ohger. I do have one.
Never.
So hear me out. The whole entire time, the seeds are there. The boost buckle constantly hitting Kawa. His, him getting a job, losing a job. Like, I would have had like literally his sister dying in every game, but then he develops a relationship with Neon, and then Neon gets killed also. But instead of it being Buffa that kills Sarah, it's Geats indirectly causes her death. So when they had the like little holes in the ground and they were falling through it, that's when she falls and dies, and he can't catch her. Now he's blaming Geats for all this stuff. He's evil, right? Geats is all like, "Oh, boost mark 2 the snap." A boost buckle's flying around. He catches the boost buckle and crushes it in his hand because he's tired of these boost buckles. Fucking with him. If we would have had K would just had all these moments, and I would have threw a dance number in there because his little music video where he was dancing, he got some moves. He's all right. He's pretty good. I would have threw a dance number in there like Spider-Man 3 style. Like, I just think now hearing all this, like, he should have been the one to take out like Glare, Gazer, Regat. He should have been the one to take all of them out because he's mad at the DGP, but then he's also mad at Geats, who's now a god. He's like, all right, DGP's gone, this and that. Now let me take out this god of creation. And that's the final fight. And I would have had Keiwa win. Because then it would have just reset everything. Geats can be a little fox in a shrine no one cares about. I would have had him killed Jean for being creepy. He's like, "Oh, I saw you crying with Ace. Why don't you cry for me, boy?" And then he just chokes him.
Some of what you're saying, I agree with. I like it a lot.
Nah, you won't. Okay, well, I'm not going to go down the whole road of him making now call him daddy then, because I'm going to keep that separate. That's for fan fiction writers only.
Hold on.
Okay.
That's a rule. That's a different rule we're not going to talk about.
Wow.
You had me.
Gene isn't creepy, Arson. Gene was super fucking creepy.
He was, but doesn't deserve to die like that.
He had Geats and Ace stickers on his freaking tablet
So,
case.
would we have still gotten the Shinobi special, you think, if they had gone down the evil Keiwa route?
Oh, fuck
They
Shinobi.
probably would have, and just said that this was Keiwa during like the first.
Because that was a good special, actually.
They probably did Shinobi because they were tired of people talking about Shinobi. It's like, oh shit, we did that thing years ago. We got to release Shinobi at some point. Like, let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I would have freaking Keiwa kill Shinobi.
I mean, to be fair, the actors
Snap
were
his
all
neck.
willing to come back, things like that, and it just worked within the parallel continuity of things. It just worked out well.
Yeah.
And then,
So.
or basketball sport question, would Shirami stay dead? Dude, he would have been murdered in the first 5 minutes he showed up on screen. Keiwa would just be like, I don't like you. We killed him.
Just
Like-
slap him, and the slap
The second
caused
he
a
did the-
massive
yeah.
explosion.
Second he started doing the worm, he would just elbow drop him on the back, then like head, and just then
Give him
start
the people's
stepping on him.
elbow.
Yeah. Oh. He'd be like, I'm gonna shine up that vision driver real nice, and never mind, you can't shove it in places. But yeah, I would have Keiwa being the villain. That's the ending I want now. Now, like all this, like I said, I've seen all these notes ahead of time because it was all over social media, and I was like, man, this makes me like Geats a lot less.
I'm just wondering why.
Because this is
going
what
down
you
the
could have
railroad.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah, and
didn't
like I
they
said,
just-
it's not like Saber where they had COVID production issues. Say with the end of 01 towards the end of that filming. Same with the beginning of Revice to an extent. So there was no excuse for Geats.
Why did they say
You
no? Why? Why they?
I don't know, but now Geats is probably in my bottom 2 for Reiwa seasons now.
Yeah, because there was so much potential there, knowing that they could have done this if they wanted to.
Like 01's
about
still at the bottom
Kosei?
of the list because of what they did in the movies to Fua. So I can't forgive that because it's canon.
Real quick. Blah blah something for $5 saying, what if Geats killed Sarah unknowingly when he went kind of berserk in Boost Mark III, and that gave Keiwa the final push to go evil? Well, that's the thing. That's another form that just we had it for like 30 seconds, and that was it.
He just couldn't control the power for like one episode, end of an episode actually, and then one talk with his mommy later. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Once he talked to moms, it was good. It was good. They were good.
I kind of was hoping that they would have him flip between the two, but like God of Destruction power, God of Creation power, but no.
It's kind of like when he went Boost Mark II, and we had that whole point on dialogue where it sounded like there were multiple aces speaking at the same time, but then they never did anything with that either.
That was like we've talked about our reviews of this. Like, there's so many theories where like it could have been all the different iterations of Ace talking. That would have been great, and none of that stuff.
Yep.
Now it was just jet lag.
Yeah, he's sleepy. He had sleepy time tea, and he was like, "I need a nap." It's like,
And then what was the drawback of the other form? Food, right? He was hungry. He was like super hungry.
Yep.
he went full
that
Goku.
well,
he needed all
it was
that.
more like
He
him
died.
granting wishes caused him to get burnt out because he didn't rely on happiness to be the gauge for it.
Feed on another emotion. Take people's sadness. Who cares?
But yeah,
I mean, the kind of-
that's why I hate
kind of
notes like
balance
this
it.
because it makes me like be like, oh man, that's kind of like ruins it to an extent for me.
So let's see. Looking at
Yeah,
the
what we could have
fantasy,
gotten.
Yeah, it does.
it
bring
always
down
happens
a bit.
because Revice did the same thing, especially.
Does this
Especially
bring
what
it
they
down a letter
acknowledged.
grade for you? Would you say?
For me, yeah.
For Zuzu, I meant.
I mean, I'm based off show averages. I'm still judging the show based off of what the show is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
based off
not what
everything
it
that we
tried
got.
to
So
do.
my rating would not change. However, if I was to do like a potential of like this versus what we got, then yeah, that would fundamentally like change things. But at the end of the day, what people are gonna still look at is what we got in the show. They're not gonna look at these production notes. Your regular person watching Geats is not gonna look at these production notes like we are.
Yeah. Well, I think it's too for the production. I think there's things that we pointed out, like not just plot holes, but things that were hinted at that, like, well, basically plot holes and seeds that were planted that these production nodes would have, those seeds would have came to fruition for them.
Exactly.
So it's kind of
They-
like, so for me, it's like,
themselves.
I'm not going crazy thinking they were forgetting this stuff. They just didn't do it. They just changed their minds, but still left the seeds there, which on top of it makes it worse. I've kind of for me, because if I judge it based on what we got now, I'm like, I'm not crazy. This stuff was seeds that were planted. They did throw a lot of stuff to the wayside that they hinted at could have been. So it's like it kind of ruins it. It for me, that would definitely lower it.
I mean, and you can definitely tell things just from the way that the show even went. The thing that I wish that they would, like, I don't know if there's going to be tidbits in there when we get to anything Buffer related. I don't see it.
He always was going to wish for meat.
No, what was just like
gosh.
the whole Toru aspect of it all
Oh.
still like pisses me off.
They really dropped that. Like,
I hope that's in his special, because that's the worst motivational point for him. That was just gone.
Dropped.
I'm now a nice guy. It's like, why your
They
friends
left it alone. It's like, yeah, I made peace
You
with
accepted
Toru
his
and
death,
stuff.
but you still want to take down Kamen Riders? No, that was the whole reason why you want to take down Kamen Riders. Get the
No. See, don't forget, he had a change of heart. The reason he wanted to take down Riders was so that they wouldn't have to fight anymore. Remember? Oh,
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the bit I did for one of the Geats reviews that I had to edit out because it got copyright claimed by Warner Brothers?
No.
So I had this whole thing during Geats where after like Geats' mother died in the statue of Hibiki the Powers, like when Kayla was first kind of like turning evil, I had put in a whole clip and I put the faces over it where it was from Harry Potter and like the Order of Phoenix, with Dursley was like taunting Harry Potter at the park. He's like, where do you go with your mom? Oh, he's like, oh, you don't have a mom. Where's your mom? Oh yeah, she's dead. And I was just like, I had Kayla's face over that talking to Ace, and they claimed it, and I still like, I'm just like,
You could have made that YouTube short.
The worst thing about that is that
They don't claim
neither
those.
of them. Neither of them have a mom that's alive.
Yeah, it does work. It works for all of them. But I was just like, man, I was like, it just thinking like all the people, like characters that were dead that like had no, like Ace's father thing. Like I still feel like that's a plot hole. Like it's just some random dude. That's it. I was like, really?
That's where you get the coin, and the coin just happens to find you every time. Great. How?
And Strike, I'm not going to show it because I literally just said it got a claim. Like last thing I'm going to do is send it to Zio, show it on a live stream when I can't even upload. Like,
yeah, just make it a YouTube short.
Yeah, I'll probably put it on like
put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can put it on Twitter or X, where no one,
whatever the thing is.
Quickster.
Yeah, but no, like the total thing that needs to be explained because that's still one of the biggest like fumbles in that show. Honestly, when you think about it, because that was his whole motivation for being in the DGP.
It got resolved off screen, and even less so, he never really acknowledged it proper in show. That's so annoying.
Nope.
And the whole Jamato thing
the dads
wasn't really
don't
fully acknowledged either. What the hell those Jamatos were really fully, and why there was artifacts in the ground that you could pick up in water that would with blood that could turn into like ancient Jamatos.
Poison Rage isn't even his final form. It's technically Mao, the other one.
I didn't even try to enunciate that thing.
Yeah.
It's super buffa. It's super zombie.
Super zombie apparently is his final form because that's what it is. It's on the cards. That's in the cards.
Let's see here. So this one's going into the fantasy book. Well, I'm just going in the order that I was sent some of these notes on here. The classic color scheme for fantasy used the magic formations and starry skies added to express the feelings of fantasy. Sleeves were added to express the feeling of a magician and Sage. The small white lines running down both the shoulders show the overlapping of books. Now, of course, they're using like machine translations for this stuff, so some stuff sounds a little weird. The chin was repainted from the boost form in order to change the feeling from Gyago from the previous what was the name of the Seeker? Was
Seeker,
the one? Yeah, so that's the big thing that they changed there. And the golden lines on it are meant to be feline whiskers. Since it is the final form that was thought that the mask would have to change a bit as well. So the eyeshadow-like lines were added in for the eyes with slightly smaller compound eyes to show a leaner face. On a side note, Gyago's armor was too big for Nago as a female knight, so it was cut down a bit to make it smaller to fit the suit actor. So, like, lower body. Where's the lower body, though? Let's see. Buffa was designed by the same person that worked on the designs for X-Aid and Ghost. And they were asked for what the character was, and they were told, like, rigid, elusive, and unable to figure out what he's trying to do. Huge horns are his characteristic. The initial proposal was such a crude design with scars above and below the eyes, but was eventually tweaked to a cross-shaped, dangling compound eye to give it a more funky look. With the crow's nostrils are... No, this is weird machine-like translation here. Let's see. It's pretty much just the hair on the back emphasizing a wild feeling with the gradient red color. The right waist of the body is wrapped in rags, unlike other riders. But the zombie buffa and the zombie raise buckle were designed because, of course, modeled after a zombie and things like that. To have the spikes added in with the huge shoulders, and the spikes turn into the knees when they do the revolve on. The best feature is the huge left arm, with the smaller arm as a clear incubator for where the venom enters the fingertips. Initially thought of a very strong color scheme with the zombie feel, with a light blue for the mask part and a purple for the eye color, but only went with the purple and orange because it didn't look very strong. But unscrewing the key and the keyhole, the gate of the iron... What the fuck is this? Whoa.
Some translation issues.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, that just went completely machine on that one. So yeah, just going a little bit into the aesthetics when it came to Buffa, but I'm like, okay, so they were thinking of other color schemes when it came to Zombie, but they settled on just sticking with the standard Buffa look because, yeah, looking at it, if they went with this
light blue,
the light blue and purple for the eye color, that would have fundamentally changed a lot more when it came to that design aesthetics.
Yeah,
but it sounds like what they ended up going with the Poison Rage form is somewhat of that metallic blue with that color scheming going on.
Buff is still my favorite secondary in all of Reiwa.
On the Yamato Writers' design, they were a bit too plain. So they decided to crack the left eye, looking like a seed where a plant is shown to be growing. That's what was added on.
That was a smart choice on their end.
The Yamato Raise Buckle is the design that gives the feeling of a plant growing out of a cracked ID core as they're eating the belt. Since it was not clear whether or not the design would be commercialized as a toy. So that proves why this was a P Bandai product. It was not really considered for being toyetic or not.
It was also dropped as an idea.
Yeah, because they just ended up becoming such canon fodder later on.
I want to say I like how everyone keeps using toyetic more. It's such a good word.
It was decided to prioritize the design with an evil demon feel at first, and then decided to commercialize it after that. So the ID core and the buckle were separated after the commercialization. It would be difficult to convey the design concept. So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, really quick, I just want to acknowledge chat. Everyone was saying, how can I like Buff as a secondary more than Vulcan? And then Mr. Cool Guy saying Tycoon is a secondary. No, Tycoon's the main rider. Buff is a secondary.
No, Tycoon's the villain. We just
No,
found
he's not.
out. He was meant to be the villain.
He was meant to be, but he wasn't because we have to go based on what was presented to us.
Oh, then what's Geats?
A bitch.
Okay.
He
He's
gets in
God.
the sheets.
He's
gets
not
in
even a
sheets.
rider technically. He's the
God.
son of a god, and then he became a god, and he's Geats. Geats is Geats.
Geats will live on.
Let's see here. This is just talking more when it comes to the Cross Geats design, which they show that it's copy from other writers and some of the design aspects on there. There is some regarding the Geats 9 suit, but it's pretty much the same thing that you could tell just by looking at it, that the chest piece was designed to represent an engine. Shoulder parts were meant to symbolize the same ears that we saw at the top were also represented in there. Geats Oneness was I fight for my friends. There's just a quick summary when it comes to that.
The freaking Oneness Soto, the cape is 4 different parts, so it so you can have it flowing, and it looks like trash.
I'm trying to find the notes that we had for Buffa's Jama Shin form, but I can't seem to find it because I thought I saw it on here earlier, but I'm still trying to see, because essentially when they were planning out the Jama Shin form, they had requested a specific suit, but it apparently, from what I'm remembering from what I read on there, it was apparently too expensive, and it said, fuck this, we'll do it ourselves, that type of thing.
Damn.
And I'm just like, I mean, you guys really did just put certain horns on there and then put a cape on it and just said we're done.
Yeah.
So I guess they were planning on something else, but that ended up going by the wayside on that aspect. So yeah, that's essentially it. Unless I see the information pop up on the Discord at any point in time. That's what I got on my second screen. Is just the Discord, just seeing if that information pops on up. Let's see. Oh, I see some. There it is. Let's see. When Buffa's power-up was ordered, it was charged too much and it wasn't intended. So a small detail I thought was neat was to originally reuse crushing Buffalo's horns, but due to strength issues of that suit, they had to recreate them from scratch. So, yeah, that's the one thing on there when it comes to that portion of it. But let's see. The original power-up for Buffa was in 2 stages. Jama Shin was the first stage, so they kept it simple. And the second stage was later repurposed into Poison Rage. So the Poison Rage form that we see for the special was intended to be his final power-up, but we just didn't get it.
Oh,
Man,
Within
it
the
makes
context of the
sense
show.
that they, because they changed so much around that they're probably like, oh, let's just put this in a special.
yeah.
So yeah, that's but once again, it's like once we saw that special, what was our first thought? This is shit that should have been in the show.
Yeah.
And we just didn't get it. So it's just like
there's a lot of stuff that should have been in the show. So with the way the DGP works, I'm pretty sure they will be milking DGP related specials for quite some time.
I mean, maybe if they can keep
Wait,
selling
they're just
toys
now
for
released. They just now showed more freaking entry form SH figure arts that are going up for pre-order, and I'm like, no,
What
I
about
don't
John
want
and
them.
Ben?
But I don't want them. But like,
The John and Ben special.
who cares about Lopo and Sarah getting freaking SH figure arts? They're
Now that we know,
mid-edition,
of course,
I assume.
Sarah was meant to die. Like she shouldn't have become a writer to begin with.
No, we should.
Yeah.
I need a
Especially
cut
when
that
her
show
writer
what she
form
dies.
was asked to begin with, and not even the good kind of ass.
Yep.
She was like one of the worst writers ever.
they had to do so many jump cuts with her suit actor because I think it was the same suit actor that did Letter, which was one of the writers that no one cares about. Like, oh yeah, Letter, the one chick that says that she's too big, but she looks like she weighs like 90 pounds.
Right.
So, oh god, I'm just too big.
Oh no.
Sucks.
Someone clip that.
But yeah, that's essentially it. Any big things out of these production notes that we are taking away from this besides Geats could have been good.
3 seasons in a row with a lot of drastic changes to the pacing and everything of the show.
Yeah. Really makes me wonder once we get the Gotchard things, especially like on this first half, like how
they were never supposed to be cards. They're never supposed to be cards.
Those were even supposed to be a school.
Yeah. The alchemy school was never supposed to be a thing. He was actually supposed to be a normal school. And then they were like, oh, people are going to say Forze. Let's change it. Let's have a second school.
We were going to make this a drag race, Kamen Rider, but with it just being with motorcycles, just illegal motorcycle.
A drag race Sentai.
Yeah, now we are.
Because
they were like, we like that idea, but I don't think it can work for Kamen Rider, so we're going to do it with Sentai. We got the screen for it. We're getting the Wachowskis out here. They're going to do this Speed Racer style. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That was actually a really good movie.
Yes, we're going to watch it on Toku Rewind once we're done with this rotation of shows. So,
nice.
Along with, Sai sent me the whole Ultraman concert that happened recently.
Yeah, you really want to listen to that music.
Yep. So I downloaded those, and we're going to be watching that while we decide the next shows on rotation for Toku Rewind for all that good stuff.
Is it the wheel again, or are we doing something different?
It's going to be the wheel again, but how I picked the shows at the end is going to be different.
Considering everyone's caught on to your surprise, they're going to be like, ooh.
Yep. I don't know if they can catch on to how I'm going to do the surprise this time.
Let me guess, it'll be the 2 shows in the middle.
No.
Damn.
No, not at all. Not even slightly.
Okay.
I'm going to draw from a hat. Or I'm going to badly flip a coin and launch it that way, like that once when we were doing the fits.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
It's just like, all right, I'm going to flip the coin, and it's gone.
Oh, yeah. Right. The coin flip that decided the everything.
Yep. It was all bad. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I think we kind of covered all the topics that I had planned for tonight's stream.
I'm good.
No. Yeah.
Anything to promote? Anything good you guys got going on? How's Ranger Academy going, guys?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I'm not the demographic for that comic book.
Yeah.
I got the preview for issue 3 that I read while listening to this, and it's okay. Like,
are you like, I'm too old for this shit?
That's not even too old. It's
just the writing.
I still have to finish editing my review of both combined because I was like, I can't review both of the every issue. I'm gonna have to do it okay, I'm checking out the comic instead of reviewing it fully. I'm like, let me just make an opinion piece on this because
I'm glad. Okay.
Yeah. What were you saying? You said
you're glad?
No, I'm glad that it's going on break after January. I think it's going on break because we're getting the return in February. Yeah.
Nice.
It's weird. It's an ongoing too, which because it's not even like a 1 of 6. It's just an ongoing. So I'm like, I
mean, from the way that it was structured, it looks like it was something that was planned to be a continuous going on.
Yeah. If it was Power Rangers universe, and that got set back.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know if it's gonna make it past 8 issues, maybe 10 issues at the most.
Yeah. Well, we did get a comment on, I think it was last week's stream, where we were talking about the toy sales going on in there, and someone specifically mentioned that something that apparently we found an omission, but I can't speak to this. I tried doing some additional research on my end, but they said that part of the reason why the toy sales have not been getting so good in Japan is because Japan's running out of kids.
Oh,
They-
right, the low birth
Oh,
rates.
no.
I forgot
The
about
low
that.
birth rate
Yeah.
implies that there's not a lot of kids to sell this stuff for, so they have to try and appeal to a other audience.
When you think about when that rate started going down, it would be for basically kids under 4 and under right now. So it's like I don't think that counts as like that drastic, especially when you realize how much Ultraman's still selling.
I mean,
Yeah, but the thing is,
Ultraman
it's like
appeals
how
to
much
a lot
of it being sold
older
is
generation.
old people like us.
I mean, a lot of older generation actually like Ultraman in Japan. It's not just the young kids.
Well, I'm just saying in general, like even the Sentai toys were still, their sales were still good. It's just, I think it's less of that and it's more of there is a big shift of premium Bandai. Like I cover toy releases every week, like not just candy toys. I talk about regular toys too in there, and I can tell you the amount of stuff going to premium Bandai is just quadrupled, if not more, in the past like 2 to 3 years.
I mean, especially with Revice. Almost every other Revice thing was
And
premium.
there's
Bandai.
a lot of stuff with the increase of price. We're like, oh well, the cost of materials, we have to upgrade the increase the prices and this and that. And it's
we
like
added LEDs again for the 50th time.
I get it, but it's like no, it's literally the more stuff going to premium Bandai. That's what's causing it, because one, those sales, those premium Bandai ones aren't coming out till X times, so it's like they're not released yet for sales and everything else, so it's warping certain quarters looking bigger than other ones. But at the same time, it's like if you're putting, one main driver, and like say for Gotchard, we got the Gotchard driver, we have Spanner's little freaking monkey wrench, but then Dread is premium Bandai, so it's like, well, yeah, that's not going to be boxes of that on the shelves for anyone to walk in and buy.
It's true.
So,
but yeah, that entire note like hooked me down through a whole rabbit hole of all the countries that have very high declining birth rates and shit like that. US is part of it, China's part of it, that type of thing. And I was just like, that's getting too into
China's
the
always
weeds.
been trying to like actively decline their birth rate.
So
you want a country that's not India? Oh god.
no, India apparently is also having declines in birth rate.
Didn't they just overtake China in population density?
I mean,
Well,
if their population has been declining much longer than everybody else's, apparently China is number one when it comes to declining birth rates.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but India's is also like there's a bunch of countries that are losing out in it. And to say to them, I just say y'all need yourself a Nick Cannon.
Wait, why is everyone not fucking?
Depending on what country it is, I may volunteer as tribute.
Listen, you got Nick Cannon going around like he's the second cousin of Genghis Khan.
Like I said, in like 100 years, half the U.S. population is going to be descended from Nick Cannon at this rate.
Right.
All the child support.
Yeah, he's not going to be around by then unless he finds a way. He's going to found the DGP himself. He's going to be the start of the future society.
He'll put his brain in the computer. I know he will.
Find some way. Find some way. Let's see. Ash left. So quick side note. I know people, as we're getting close to the Christmas, people are going to start asking me, when is TokuDet going to be? Like, when am I going to start asking for calls for TokuDet? That type of thing. I can tell you right now, TokuDet is planned to be like my Christmas Eve video. So I'm asking for anybody that wants to submit your hand for being in the TokuDet video to send it no later than Friday, December 22nd to my email, zioagito@gmail.com. Just name it TokuDet with whatever name you want to attach with it. Make your video. Now, the thing is,
you're not going to win.
Some people have made big purchases. Some people have made smaller purchases. The thing is, make your video at least as close to a minute at length as possible. But if you have bought more than, say, 30 things than this year, then I will allow longer run times to just go through everything that you have going on in there. Because I know some people...
Yeah, you get whatever I said you. I can't do that in a minute.
Yeah. You send him your video again?
Just send the wrong video this time.
I was actually going to start my video with the intro of the last video, but have it be the real video this time, just to throw it up. Like, so I'm going to be reviewing all of Kamen Rider Blade.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be like just fast forwarding to it. Can I find it?
Chat, you will be competing for 4th place, just so you know. Most
Look,
likely.
because of some sales that like ended up not dropping, I'm definitely not. I'm scared to look at my numbers, but I know for damn sure I likely did not spend anywhere near what I spent last year. I probably actually trended down this year. Possibly. I could be eating my words in a couple of weeks. I won't know. I'm scared to put in the numbers.
I started putting in the numbers.
You gotta put in
Wait,
the numbers.
do comics count for
Yes.
Toku Dead
yes,
or no?
yeah,
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
they do. That's why I
Which
was
is
like,
why
that's why I had to make an amendment for last year's and add to the.
Yeah, because you
I
can
already-
put in other media as long as it's Toku related media, whether or not you got like the Kuga manga, whether or not you got those shitty 01 comics, if you got
Listen.
any of the DVDs.
Because I got every cover of every issue of the 01 comic and the Kuga manga, I realized those alone is more than some people might have spent because those comics were like $5 each.
Yeah.
And there's like 5 or 6 covers for each one. And I was like, damn, why? Why did I do that to myself?
Good luck. Happy debt. Spend wisely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
I'll see if I
counted-
calculate this.
So also
Might hurt
really
me.
quick, does Toku adjacent stuff count too? Like Go-Go Loser Rangers manga? Does that count? Because it's Super Sentai related manga.
I would say no.
Okay. I have to deduct $30, which does not even
Okay.
make it
What
stat.
was it?
Yeah, $30 from like an ocean. Yeah.
Oh no. And also tax and shipping does not count. It has to be just MSRP retail
Okay.
price.
What you bought it for?
Yeah.
What about if I
Still
like?
fun.
What about the Dire Rangers soda pops that I pre-ordered last year?
Yeah, if you
And
got
they
them this
came
year,
out-
Yeah,
Yeah,
if it's
whatever
something
you
that
got-
you pre-ordered last year, but you got this year, it counts towards this year. Nothing
Yeah.
that you
Okay.
pre-ordered
Okay.
this year that comes out next year counts towards this year. So that's the big thing.
Okay, gotcha.
I still have to factor
Wait,
in what I
I
pre-ordered
just
last year.
realized. Technically, some of the things I bought were a gift, but does it count?
It doesn't count because you didn't spend actual money. And all, like, yeah, so if you spent money on other people that's Toku related, no, that doesn't count.
What if I own it first and then
I don't spend money on other people.
No.
Y'all can suck
No.
it.
Fine, I'm keeping them for a little bit.
Coming 2-time champ.
I'm just gonna keep the
back.
swords and the Mofun just before,
Like
just
94
long
Jordan.
enough to count.
And I know Crazy Orb asked, when are we getting the nominees for the Toku Awards? Well, the Toku Awards is planned to be my New Year's video. So you'll start getting details for that next week. I got to start
Who's gonna be your wacky
asking-
co-host?
asking
Blade's dead.
folks. I'm not going to tell you. I already know who it is, but I'm not going to tell you. So that's going to be the fun stuff on there. I got to start like rechecking everything that came out this year just to see who would qualify for certain things, and then run by possible nominees next week for folks, because I don't want there to be too many nominees per category. I like slimming it down to just 4 nominees per category, because there were some categories for last year's Toku Awards that were like bloated, especially for like best actor. We had a lot on there, so I'm just like, let's try and narrow it down to like a concise 4 for like everything on there. So we are going to be doing some repeats of some awards from last year, some omissions from awards from last year, because there wasn't really that much of an amazing slap besides like, did Chiram getting slapped happen? Yeah, Chiram getting slapped happened this year. That was like probably the best slap of the year, I would say. I can't think of any other good slaps that happened this particular year in Toku.
Did you already slap anyone?
No, he should have slapped the hoe.
I thought he would. If that he did, oh god, imagine.
I mean, that would make Geats 2-time champion for like best slap 2 years straight. Would have been
I
great.
just hope that Jeremy's mom wins an award.
Worst fight
Just
of
for
the
Cloudy.
year? God. We should have like a best and worst category, because I don't like staying overtly positive on things. I like throwing in the wacky and like, you know,
Yeah.
shit
I
we
have
shit on.
Worst fight. Oh god, I have a couple.
Yep. Like the worst fight of the year. What is it? That type of thing. So stuff that we'll look at when it comes to like categories and all that. But if it ends up being somewhat of a slow news week next week, then we can start talking all that stuff.
Mhm.
You know, next week.
I'm
Just
actually
get all
the
those
slowest week
feelers
news
out.
week up until Thursday, and then Thursday night comes around. And then
Sometimes it'd be like that. They just drop a huge, like the BoonBoomger like silhouettes could end up coming out, or the full thing ends
Yeah.
up coming out. But even then, like there's only so much we can talk about a still image. So
I mean, hey, listen, you guys talked about Jeremy's mom for like 30 minutes, and it's also a still image.
I had to sit through it.
I did also have to sit through it. Well, shout
I don't
out.
know, Mark, was it
No.
worth it?
He wasn't there. It was just you.
I remember I missed it, but I watched the
Oh
VOD,
yeah,
and
you
honestly,
did.
It was just you and me fighting back and forth.
Honestly, you're lucky that I wasn't there because it.
I know.
It probably would have become a 6-hour stream.
Yeah, I would be like, "We're not done yet."
I would have
Like,
taken
I
a
would
nap.
have John.
and,
I would have took my
streaming.
tablet out, John Madden style. I would have circled like, "Here's a good face right here," and then I would have like put little arrows and.
Hey there, Mark here for Jeremy's mom.
No.
Tough acting, acting. Boom.
No.
Gotta hit the boom.
No.
There's a
Oh
bit
my
there.
god. Worst actor, Renee's actress. God damn, already. It would be the entire Gotchard cast, sans like Sabi Maru. And,
Yeah, listen,
like,
Sabi Maru and that tablet, amazing.
it's just like best,
Best actor,
Isaac-
Steamliner.
Just
Ooh,
Isaac.
can we do
Steamliner
like
is the
best
best actor.
pose?
Best pose for
Yeah,
this.
best and worst poses.
Best wig. Him and now.
Which one?
I mean, Rita
point.
Stans will fight you because e-girl Rita was rocking a wig.
Listen, Rita stands like they're probably just like, oh no, she's wearing clothes that aren't just two colors and monotone and boring. We could see her face. This is horrible. Give us back our mid. We don't want super mid.
Damn.
Damn.
Rita stands like oatmeal raisin cookies. That's their first choice. And they dip it in like freaking almond milk.
You gotta be a monster. No.
Like,
Man, that's twice the oats right there. Almond milk and oat. God.
yeah.
Where's the fat of like actual milk? Or damn.
Ain't none.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're malnourished. They're Rita
The
stands.
sugar that's in the raisin.
Oh,
For 35 cents a day, you can help a Rita stand get an oatmeal raisin cookie.
35 cents a day. You can help a restand find an actual waifu.
Like,
Damn.
meanwhile, as a Himino stand,
Well-
I'm having freaking tomahawk steaks, wagyu beef.
What about
Yeah.
Morphonia?
Or listen, all right, that's like
I wish Morphonia did more. Like,
Yeah.
they've
If
been
only.
doing a lot more retainer focused stuff, like these last few episodes, and then Morphonia is just like also misunderstanding
here.
Rita,
I'm just here.
and I'm like, really?
I thought it's their like gimmick, Morphonia. Like they're not the smartest, so it makes sense if they misunderstood Rita. But then again, they've known Rita for that long. Then
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true. Oh,
so
yeah, is
yourself
Morphonia
with oatmeal
met the
cookies
parents?
and the freaking.
Yeah,
jams.
I regular oatmeal cookies.
I mean,
Rita stands
Yeah.
also probably be eating on flowers and wasabi. You know.
Oh my god.
there's a eating grass in a field joke there.
Hey, listen,
I've
that's
got-
a. Hey, listen, it's been proven.
I'll
Himeno
punch you down.
Shit.
Himeno
punch you
Sims have
down.
been proven to eat that.
Oh, we should do best waifu of the year. Best waifu
No,
of the
I'll
Mono for the
have to-
year.
No,
Because you know Jeremy and Jeremy's mom will win that.
We're
Stop
gonna
it.
skip over.
Stop it.
we've got this. We've got
Blazer?
Emmy from Blazer.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes. Oh, thank God, Henri, Emmy, please.
I mean, it's an honorable mention for Blazer. I mean, let's face it.
No.
have you seen the abs on Henri?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gotten to that
I've showed
episode
you the
yet.
image,
I
Mark.
missed it.
I know. I'm the one who took out the guy out of the photo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll put out the waifu. Well, that's the real waifu wars would be happening during the Toku Awards.
I'm pretty sure she's still here, actually.
That would be the real thing.
Hold on,
Let's
let me
see
check.
how many people like get on multiple proxies to vote for their best waifu. We'll see. We'll see. This is how it really goes down.
No, it's
Really goes
funny.
down.
Himeno's
Yes.
still down here.
What
Like,
do you mean?
You remember that Himeno you gave me to put in the...
Oh
the clip?
yeah, yeah.
She's still here.
Nice.
Listen, we're gonna talk about Scorpion.
Oh, the waifus from Shin Kamen Rider.
Oh, that's right.
This is gonna be a hard one.
Oh yeah,
Speaking of
Black Arachnia.
Speaking of a hard one,
Which
No,
spider
like, I just
wife
wanna
was
be
gonna go on the
clear.
list? Black Arachnia.
I'm not trying to make fun of arena stands. Like, y'all do that pretty good yourselves.
also
Like,
oh
I'm
my
just,
Sononi
God,
would
Mark.
count
I'm just
because
saying-
Donbrothers was still airing this year. So
it is. Then they had a special, so it does count. You're see,
Zio,
just what happens.
your
I'm glad
list
I'm
is
not
going to be
you.
more than 4 at this point. At this rate.
no, because that's the thing. It's like we'll get down to the final 4 when it comes to we'll decide on the picks and we'll dwindle them down to 4
That's gonna be tough.
each
I know-
category.
I know 2 of them are from Shin Kamen Rider, so
So
those are
that's the
kinda
thing.
undefeated.
We'll essentially end up kind of sort of doing bracket offs when it comes to certain nominees. I'll try and cook up the potential nominees before the stream, and each nominees will end up having their own bracket offs or something like that, or a fan vote, just leading into which ones are the final 4 for the Toku Awards. That way we make this as bloodiest of a bath as possible leading into the final 4 for each. Sounds gruesome.
You know what's funny? Donbrothers is the only. I think it's the only Toku with like actual murder that year. Like actually, because 2 characters.
They killed a
died.
baby.
3 characters died.
Oh, yeah,
Like actually,
they,
Yeah, y'all forget
killed
they
a
killed a
baby.
fucking baby.
they killed the
I didn't
baby.
know-
They killed.
I didn't know that was last year or this year,
Sononi
but they killed a
died.
baby.
Yeah, that was
Sonoi
this year.
died. Yeah, all that died. All that happened.
He yeeted that baby through that portal. I forgot. Like I
Yeah.
never forgot, but I forgot that was this year.
There was a
Yeah,
lot
so-
of deaths in Donbrothers actually.
So we'll have all those like best show of the year, which last year Geats won, but that was because they were going based off of those first like 16 episodes.
Geek episodes.
Hey, listen, Yeats and
Let's see
Donbrothers was
let's see
gonna
what
be
y'all say now for this year, because the
Bizarre.
running's gonna end up being essentially Donbrothers, King-Ohger, well, the end of Donbrothers, this like the first 30 something episodes of King-Ohger, the finale of Geats, like the second half of Geats, which I doubt, like y'all gonna have to really make me mad if Geats ends up winning that shit. I'm gonna be
You have
so
2
upset.
stacked Sentai shows competing against Yeats.
Yep. It's like y'all now
Blazar.
know the glory of Donbrothers, and then Blazar, yes.
Don't forget
And I
King-Ohger.
guess, and then I
King-Ohger's
guess
good.
I'll throw in Cosmic Fury in there and just see if it even makes it to the final 4.
But King-Ohger is also insane. Like I can see that
Oh.
winning.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like King-Ohger would win against Geats, but that's the thing. It's like if it ends up becoming a King-Ohger versus Donbrothers situation, I feel that's gonna be like the
Yeah, I feel
real
like I
toss
voted
up for a lot of
Blazar.
folks.
Blazar is very good. It is
It's-
so good.
It's literally the one where I'm like, listen, if someone's getting into Ultraman, that's #1 pick to get them into Ultraman now.
Honestly,
The fishing scene alone, the memes we got, just it's geek.
I do recommend Blazar at some point. I think it's like a good 2nd or maybe 3rd show.
I'm
It is a
probably
really
gonna
good
finish
show.
watching it after the show. Like after we did this podcast, I'm definitely gonna, because I could probably catch up by tonight or
I
tonight.
only-
yeah.
Yeah. My only reason it's not like
Got
a good
episode 12,
first
yeah.
show because it doesn't set like the precedence that like Ultra is. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
We could we
Well,
don't
they
say
can both
G
watch.
because of Belial, because Belial's peak. So you don't know any better. You're young.
Have you seen this villain called Tregear? Really good villain,
Belial,
Tregear. Just saying.
atrocious. Come on now.
All right, so since we're approaching the 3-hour mark, let's go ahead, because of course we're getting into the speculation of the shit that we're probably going to end up talking about next week anyway, which is probably going to be a long stream in itself, just because of debating nominees, chairs probably being thrown,
Yeah.
things like that.
March slideshow of.
Yeah, he's going to start making points of like why this character deserves to be in the 4,
Mhm.
like final
Yeah,
4.
once I get all the categories and nominees, I will make a Google slide for each category.
That matters to you. That is.
So essentially, I'm just gonna have the long list, and we're gonna condense it down to the short list, and that's gonna be the final voting that will be up for several weeks, for the Toku Awards, because that way
Is true wear
it gives
anything
people
fancy?
more chance. Is what?
Anything weird or fancy or wacky we should wear? Just so I know what
Uh,
models I have prepared.
I mean, since it's cold here in the States, I could actually end up wearing a proper suit without dying of heat, even though these lights, these
I don't know
lights,
the suits.
make me
So
So
your insulated walls, I assume.
What lights are you using? Mine
Yeah.
don't even make me warm or anything.
I put them pretty close. That's
Mine's
how.
literally.
That's
I
why
can
I
touch
glow
mine
on camera.
like this. It's literally 2.5
But
feet
I
away
think
from me.
that yours is. Are your lights LEDs or no?
Yes.
Yeah, mine are too.
Okay, I was usually because LEDs don't usually give that off heat. Usually.
So, well, this one is an LED. This one is not.
Oh,
That's probably why.
So that's why I keep that one further away. So I got two different ones set up. Any cosplay suits?
Rude.
They take forever to make.
Yeah.
Not really. It really just depends on your skill level.
Zia
Good
made
idea.
his in technically a day.
I pay people to get my stuff done. I ain't got time for that.
How long
In
did
which
your
case, if
cosplay
you
take?
want
Like
some good helmets, hit up Stick of Source.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can't wait to get mine. And then I hit up that guy in Singapore about freaking or no, what Indonesia, not Singapore, the guy in Indonesia about 2 suits that we're gonna start in January, and I should have those in time for Power Morphicon to
Blade.
show off the
Nice.
of course, King form.
Mhm.
And I won't say what the second one is because I'll get unwarranted hate for it. Because it's also peak.
It's Ghost, isn't it?
Shut up.
It's Ghost, isn't it?
No.
Say that
I think
without
it's Ghost.
stylish.
Yeah, I think it's Ghost. But which
Nope.
Ghost?
Which Ghost?
It's not Ghost.
Say that.
The ghost of Gates of the ghost of what Gates could have been.
Is it
No, it's
Spectre?
actually I haven't picked the second one yet. I'm between
Mm.
actually doing Bujin Sword because he posted a progress photos. He made
It
a
is
Bujin
good.
Sword one that looked amazing. I was torn between that or I was gonna have him get an actual LED Fives one made
Oh.
where it all lights up, and I was like, because I want something that lights up, and I don't want to do it.
Would
myself.
that also count towards TokuTonic?
No,
Oh no.
no.
Cosplays
'cause,
don't count.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't. Because
All official merchandise.
the next cosplays that I'm planning on working on was either working on the SIC Fies suit, or doing Amazon's Alpha.
I could do
Oh.
the sick ghost. The sick ghost
Oh.
one is insane. 'Cause I have
So
that
I really
statue
like
up.
the SIC
bedroom.
Fies. It's like one
It
of the
is.
best SICs.
The SIC ones are so like even like all of them have been good. The Kuga one is amazing. I have the Kuga statue one, not the action figure, and the ghost statue and the Forze statue ones. Perfect. And obviously the Blade ones. As a big Blade fan, I don't like the SICs for Blade. They look weird. Like Langle's all bulky, like he's got like the freaking Venom from Batman serum in him. I was like, he ain't that muscular. Mutsuki's a little bitch.
He is absolutely.
Ah.
Character's so bad he had to go work in a restaurant after Blade was done airing.
What is it? It is now 3 hours in, Zio.
Yes, technically. With the failed first stream, and yeah, me padding out time with the start of the second stream for 7 minutes. Sure,
Yeah.
we'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I,
Add all
I-
that
I-
together.
I kept folks entertained until y'all ended up showing up. So hey, it worked out. Worked out. Talking about potential Atoya dance off.
No.
Yeah, people sending me their Atoya dance, and then I
Oh.
just judge them.
Damn.
So, I mean, I've been doing this dance since 08. Of
I know.
course.
I've seen it.
Yes, that's
Well
what
done.
that short was all about. Bringing in 19-year-old me and how he would do the Atoya dance and all that good stuff.
Oh god.
All right. Ash, what you got to promote and where can people find you at?
You can find me over on the socials over at Deoxy360. What have I got to promote? Just watch my normal comic reviews. They seem to be doing well. I've also got What If Power Ranger Villains 8 Devil Fruits coming out on December 13th. That's going to be the buffer video in between comics coming out, although it's going to be a while, so I might have something on December 20th. Planned for that if I can get it out and edit in time. But yeah, stuff on the way, and working on stuff as well.
I think whatever Rangers were going to be fighting any of those villains that ate, they're all dead. No, done. Dunzo. Mark, what you got?
Mhm.
Those
I'm actually
villains are water based.
I did some comic reviews this past week, and because filler content, I'm not really talking about Gotchard, so I'm trying to catch up on my comics. I'm going to be doing some non-Toku videos soon. I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite video game series because I found this bad boy when I was cleaning the Xenosaga DVD, and then also I'm going to be covering some yokai finally and Metabots finally because I've been talking about it for a long time. And I'm just trying to work on other non-review Toku content. Like I have some other ones coming out where I'm going to be doing a deep dive into older seasons, especially Super Sentai. Now that I've been getting into it a lot, like it's kind of cool to like now that I'm 6 or 7 seasons or 7 or 8 seasons now finished, and I'm almost done with Jetman. I'm like, this is the whole new world of Toku debt because those mechas aren't cheap.
Yeah. Now you're catching.
And I'm
like what's probably gonna piss you off is if you end up buying said old mechs. And the thing is, it looks like Bandai is planning on doing like what they did with Kyoryu Jin and retroactively re-releasing old mechs just with the newer posability and changeability.
They're doing that right now with SMPs with the mini plus stuff. They've been killing it. Like even the Shoto Supers with them, like I got the Die Ranger one. The Jetman ones just went up for pre-order, and their mechas are now up for pre-order for the SMP line. And I'm like, damn, these are like diving into Super Sentai toys. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos about like Super Sentai toys as I'm getting into them more, and try to do non-review stuff with Toku because like I don't feel like reviewing right now, especially with Gotchard where it is, and I'm like I don't have that like supplemental content really to offset it because I still want to talk about Toku stuff. I just don't want to talk about Gotchard every week. So especially after we talk about it, that's one of the reasons why I don't review it too, is because we talk about it, and even I was talking about it, that's longer than I want to talk about it. Even though I don't hate the show, misconception, I don't hate the show.
No, none of us do hate the show. Like, it's not a bad show.
People think that like I hate the show just because I stopped reviewing it. I'm just like, you didn't really listen to the context of that video that I put out.
Yeah,
it's like
people still think I hate King-Ohger after I said I wasn't reviewing King-Ohger. In the video, I literally say I'm watching other Sentai now and getting into it. Recommend your Sentai seasons to me, and then people are like, "Oh, you're a fake Sentai fan." I'm like, I'm a new Sentai fan. Like,
considering how much you came out, there's no way.
I was like, just let me know what ones I wanted to check out. I like recommendations. I have a list of recommendations. I'm just going down them and checking them out. Kind of mad that I chose Loop-Pat before all these other ones, but hey, that's besides the point.
Me and John just are almost done with Body Ranger. It's good.
Nice.
Get in there.
It is. That was my first Sentai.
I have a friend like I work with and this and that who is into Sentai stuff, and we both like Toku and everything else, and he's just like he's been recommending it even before I started watching Super Sentai, like years, like 6-7 years. He could watch Magi Ranger. I'm like, I will eventually. I don't fucking care. Like, and now I'm like, all right, everyone keeps saying to watch it, so. And I would do gaming streams too, because like I'm rebranding the Tokusatsu Hangover to something bigger going into January. So I would be streaming some of the Yokai Watch games, Metabot games. I'm going to go back into like my OG early 2000s gaming. So like Xenosaga, all the stuff I like there, like Pokemon, was it XD, the Gale of whatever the bullshit, stuff like that.
I tried playing that. It moved too slow for me. Like I never played that game growing up, and I emulated it.
Yeah,
pacing of that game just felt way too slow.
Did you play Coliseum first though?
No, I never played those games
first because that's what takes place like in canon wise. The Gale of Darkness, wherever, takes place like 2 to 3 years after, and it continues from the ending of Coliseum.
Yeah.
So it'll help with the pacing a bit because you already have like the world building already done, and you kind of just see it from that standpoint, and just jump into it. But and then I'm also doing Toku game stuff because I bought another game for I believe it was the PS2, and it's basically Mario Kart with a whole bunch of Toku characters, but they're on tricycles.
Oh,
okay.
It took me a while to find it. I hunted it down. I finally got a copy of it. It will be here soon. Let me see. I have the name of it somewhere. It begins with a C, but it's literally they're on tricycle. Oh, it's Chorinko Hero for the game. It's for the GameCube, and it's literally they're on tricycles, like Bobby's World intro video, and it's completely Mario Kart, but it's all Ultraman and Commoner. So like Ryuki's in there,
Found
V3.
it.
Yep, I got that. So I will be streaming that soon.
Ooh.
It's
Nice.
super mid, and I love it
Hmm.
because I do
It
have
looks
almost.
very
Thanks to
weird.
Sai, I have a list of all the Toku video games I've released from Famicom to PS4, PS5, and I started going through the list, and I'm only missing about 6 or 7 more games that I have every released Toku game.
Oh,
And it's made by Banpresto. That makes sense now.
Yeah,
Because
They made a lot.
Banpresto also did the superhero Sakusen. They already have pre-existing relationships with all these companies, which is how they make the Super Robot Wars franchise. So yeah, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
So yeah, that's it. Just a lot of like I'm trying to find like I'm having like identity crisis, so like crisis right now with Toku. 'Cause
Not
I'm
like the comic?
reviewing- 'cause I'm not no. 'Cause I'm not reviewing Commoner every week, so I'm like, well, what do I like? That's kind
Doctor
of
Who?
I thought about it, but I don't want to mess with that fandom right now. Like there's fandoms I don't fuck with.
I wouldn't.
Why do you think my Marvels review is private still on YouTube?
Mm.
Nope. I was like,
You
watching that-
opened up a can of worms.
yeah. I already opened up a can of worms talking about freaking Alan Scott Green Lantern. So
You got that Echo show.
But Echo looks all right.
I've only watched 3 shows of the MCU on Disney Plus, and I don't plan on making a 4th one to my list.
All right.
All right, Cloudy, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm switching my streams from Twitch to YouTube. Hopefully, I want to play. Well, Mark said, reminded me when we were doing. He was talking about Pokemon Coliseum. I want to replay my first mystery dungeon game, which was Explorers of Sky.
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm gonna be doing that.
I've never played any of those games.
They're really good.
Get the
They're
Switch
really
one.
good. Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
the
get the
Switch one.
Switch one. It's a
Mine
remake
is
of
in my
the
top 5 Switch
DS
games of
and
all
Game Boy
time.
one. Yeah.
I do have it on the Switch, but I also have another one that's easier to say stream. You know, per se, another version that's easier to stream, possibly. So
okay.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that because I haven't played that game in a long time, and I remember I loved. Yeah,
Dude, Mystery
Explorers of
Dungeon.
Sky.
Well, I think we talked about Discord, our third-party Pokemon games that weren't mainline. Like, freaking Mystery Dungeon's great. Conquest is like peak.
Oh, yeah.
Conquest is like underrated. I feel
It
like
is very
Conquest.
Oh yeah, Conquest
came-
definitely.
it came-
That needs a sequel and a remake.
It came out in like a time where like the 3DS was out.
But that's the thing.
DS games.
It's a DS game that came out like towards
Yeah.
the end of the DS
Yep.
life, and people were already
Yeah.
waiting for the 3DS.
And they didn't really play it, and it was good.
Yeah, it was great.
Although,
I never beat it. I need to go back and beat it.
Dude.
if you want to see this model play those games, I will be doing that
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
Are you misty because of cloudy, like different?
They're all weather
things?
phenomenons.
And then you're gonna get
Stormy, cloudy,
rainy.
misty, different
Rainy,
sort of.
hazy.
Sunny is already.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, we've figured out your nomenclature, just like
Took
I
me
the-
3 hours
said
to
it
find
at
the
one
picture
point. I
of
thought
Yeah, you said it last week.
I was
They're all-
not paying attention.
they all end with the IE and everything.
I very rarely pay attention to VTuber models.
Okay, fair enough. I
yeah,
respect it.
they're kind of a thing that like is happening right now. We're just accepting it.
Damn. I noticed I can't see the audience, but they can see the audience on the stream.
What?
So you see, the audience, so it's covering me. Yeah, I
Yes.
can't.
Okay,
see
I was
that.
wondering. I was like, I
They
don't
can
know.
see it. Yeah,
I was about to
can't
say
see
the
it.
chat that's just been gone for like the longest time, and I'm just like, man, who was driving really fast by you, Mark?
Damn,
That was
Speed Racer.
dude. There's literally a quarter of a mile from light to light, and it's just straight. And it happens all the time.
BoonBoomger out here
A lot
getting
of
that early
people
start.
have those weird, fancy low to the ground cars where the doors go like this. There's a lot of rich people out here with nice cars.
Yeah, Pokemon games are great. Honestly, really fun. The newer ones can be hit or miss though.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't have much to promote. Just check out that Donbrothers review. Finally, retouching back on that
10
content.
hours of editing.
Yes, did take a lot of editing, especially covering 3 specials in one single video. Took a lot, especially when you're trying to get the footage that's necessary for it, trying to stay within a certain time span as possible while still doing the bits and shit that I do with my videos. Once again, same thing with the King-Ohger review, with the Gokon Idol, bringing that all in there, which honestly didn't take as much effort to do what I did on there as I thought. But I know some folks are mad at a certain water drinking persona of mine, especially after not drinking to a certain e-girl that was in this episode of King-Ohger. I've gotten some people definitely send me some. It's like, I don't like Space Fives no more. Nope, you're not doing it. I'm like,
He's changed since he came back.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Listen.
Maybe he's got a type.
he's learned not to drink.
You know, guys that are thirsty have standards too. I'm just saying. Can't be
Not all of
thirsting
them, but
after
some
everything.
do.
Yes. Got some standards. Got some standards going on. Anyway, that's it from us. We will catch you all next week. Until then, bye.
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 よっ日本一